That's it. We're live. Good evening, everybody. Today is Friday, the 16th of March, 2018. On the panel so far is Yudit from Israel, Astral in Denmark. You've got Patricia UK, you've got Levkungfu from the UK, and special guest, Mr. Thrive and Survive Rich. So hello.
Howdy, everyone.
Good evening.
Hello.
I hope that the watch page is okay today, as we'll check. But anyway, today Rich has come on to talk a lot more about Peopleforpeople.life.
I can't believe it. I found a cached copy of the site as it is right now, so I can actually share that in a minute for you guys. I guess I should catch up everybody that it's live now. I've been working on the site for a bit now, and particularly in the last 2 days, but I've had all kind of massive issues. Not only am I learning WordPress as I go, but the plugins that WordPress uses, I've had all kind of problems with, like paying for a premium plugin, and they send you to PayPal, and then PayPal doesn't redirect you, so you actually don't have the product. So it's been fighting that and trying to get, you know, the correct links and different stuff like that. That's one part of it. And then other things, for example, one of the most expensive plugins I got yesterday, watched the video on how to install it. It's a 2-hour video, and just the things were not functioning like they were in the video. So I wrote support, and they wrote back and said, don't watch the video. It's too old. We're coming out with new ones. So in the meantime, I got to learn it on my own. But the biggest disaster happened. I was having a WordPress issue with my hosting site, and the site wasn't directing right. It was giving us Peopleforpeople.life.colloidalsilvergold.com because I originally installed it on that server, and it made it a subdomain. Even though you could just type Peopleforpeople.life and got there, once you logged in, it changed the address. Well, it wasn't a big deal, but I knew by the time we went live, I wanted to have it fixed. But the guy noticed it as support. He said, look, here's what you do. Change this, and it'll be fine. I said, well, would WordPress and will the site still be okay? He said, sure, it'll be fine. Well, I changed it, and it crashed. So I have a support ticket in right now trying to get that fixed. That started at about 2 in the morning. I gave up them getting back to me with a good answer at about 4:30 a.m. And so I'm going to be a little tired and off my brain here today, but hopefully I can show you where we are a little bit and the ideas I have. And just know that no matter what it is, that we can change the look and feel. We can change the whole thing. There's nothing in stone with what I'm doing. It's just ideas. And I'm looking to get ideas from you guys so that we can see if we're on the same page. Now, I want to show you a couple screenshots in a little bit. Let me make sure I get rid of the link here before we share. So that's clear, Karen. But anyway, I'll show you where we are right now and some of the ideas I have. And we can just jump right into that if you want to, because I can screen share. I did find a cached copy of the page. We won't be able to do anything with it because as soon as I click on something, it's going to go away. But anyway, if you want to see what it looks like to date and where I'm going with it.
Yes, show us, Rick. We're excited. People are already asking about signing up as well, just to let you know.
Okay, good. Yeah, what I'll probably do is once I get this up, I'll probably redirect to a page, a sign-up page. The reason why I haven't done that so far is because I'm worried that if a bunch of people sign up and then I go to put it into the site and it's not the same end site that it is now, that I'll have to ask everybody to sign up again. And I don't want people to have to go through that.
That's okay. Don't rush, Rich. There's no point in rushing, is there? Because you really want this to work. So it's got to be done in a process. It's cool. We the people don't mind. Okay,
now I'm going to switch to the cached copy. And it's not going to look great or anything like that. It's just putting it together. You'll see. Are you seeing my screen?
Yeah.
You see the icon over here? Okay. This is the idea for the logo. I won't click on it. Maybe I'll open a larger one later so you can see how it is. The page truncates it some. But as you can see, the link color isn't right. It should be one of these two colors. and things like that. So the look and feel of it isn't right. You can see these recent posts. It says A, food, A. These are just test things to see how it works. But as I go through and show you some of the ideas that I have here, it'll come into play with what I want to do. The first thing I want to show you is the idea of a chat where we can chat outside of Facebook, YouTube, Google, whatever, Facebook, Twitter, but have integration to those things so you can share a post on there if you want. But the main idea that I have in mind is if those places go away or if they ban you or whatever, it doesn't affect what happens on this site right here. You're always safe and secure. I have come up with, we have but one rule, the love rule, and I'll read that. Show love and compassion to one another. We understand people often disagree. There's nothing wrong with that. If you have been involved in other social media such as YouTube, Facebook, etc., you are likely familiar with what are called trolls and others who bully, harass, and otherwise treat content creators and fellow commentators with disdain. That is the behavior that will get you banned from this site. Other than the commercial spam, this is the only reason why you would be banned. Simply put, treat others with the same respect that you want to be treated with. And if that's the case, you won't get banned. I don't care what subject you want to talk about.
Can I ask you something? Can I ask you something? There's a few people different in the chat room already from last time. Can you just explain what People for People is? Peopleforpeople.life.
Yeah, the idea pretty much is, and you'll probably have to help me and fill it in because, again, I'm not very sharp at the moment. The idea was a combination of a couple things. Number one, to be able to get away from the censorship sites such as Google, YouTube, and having to follow their rules. And as we see now, they're particularly people on the right or libertarians and faith groups or certain subjects like school shootings and things like that. If you even mention it in your title, whatever, they ban you. They're going back and they're looking at videos you have 2, 3, 4, 5 years old and say it's harassment and bullying, and and it's not. And they're taking a lot of big names down. For example, Dr. Jerome Corsi, who never has a bad thing to say about anybody. They took him down because he was doing QAnon reporting. And remind me, there's something very important for you guys in Europe about QAnon that I think is going to shock you if you haven't heard it. In any case, but we're seeing the censorship is coming. They make it very difficult, particularly on YouTube. I'm not familiar enough with Facebook. Other people can tell me if this is true or not. But if you have a YouTube channel, it is very hard to ban somebody. Yeah, you can ban them so you don't see them, but everybody else has still got to deal with them. Now, you can go through and go to 3 different places. You have to go to your Google email address. You have to go to, I think, your AdSense account and the YouTube. And each time you got to search that person out and click ban from site. Otherwise, they still can harass others. Well, that isn't going to be the case here at this site. And we're going to control that by this right here, IP blocking. And I learned something interesting from this that I'll bring up too. You can actually track somebody with IP if you wanted to, down to a block or two of where they live. It's scary. And one of the plugins I got for recognizing IP addresses, and you guys will have to tell me if you want that to be on there or not. It will show or you can actually put on there, not from your IP, but you can put your city and country or whatever, and it'll show a map on there. You guys will have to tell me if you want to show that or not. Some people might not want their location shown, and maybe that might be an option where you can say, yes, I want my location shown or not. I won't make those required fields other way. But getting back to IP blocking, what I learned was...
Can I just say, if you want to build communities and people build communities for themselves, it probably is best if they do put where they are.
It helps. It helps people that are in there, I think. Because you recognize...
If the people really do want to make communities for themselves in their own community, not just a community on flat earth or whatever, but actually right in where they live, then it would be better if they did put where they lived.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm still there. Just that was just my thought, just for the community side of it. But anyway, carry on. Sorry.
If you I don't know about everybody else, but I bet the last 20 seconds of what you were saying was totally blank to me.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
Just repeat it, Karen.
Because I just said it'd be better if that where they lived was there, if they're making communities for themselves, and that was a part of what Peopleforpeople.life was, so that the people built their own communities with themselves.
Yeah, I
Then it'd
agree.
be better.
Because as you're going to see, if I can remember everything as we go through this, the idea is to hook up with people that either are in the same interests as you, in the same neighborhood as you, or the same country, city, or whatever, so that hopefully a lot of people will jump offline and help one another in public personally once you get to know other people. So anyway, that's something that will, I don't want to mess with this page. That's something that we can discuss. I'll put it on there first and make it optional if you want to put your location. Whether you put it there or not, I don't know where you're at from IP blocking. The scary thing here that I learned from the plugin that I purchased is the fact that even if you have one of these IP switchers where it switches where apparently you're coming from, even public free domain software will get through that and find out where you really are. So if it's out on the public domain, just think what the governments can do. So it's the IP is only going to be used for blocking, nothing else. And what's cool about that is if you have a troll.
I'm sorry, I like that idea. Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, if you have a troll, all you have to do is go to their username. There'll be a field there that says their IP. This will be for admins, and probably a lot of people in this hangout might be admins. You can just go to block user, paste their IP address in there, and you're done. They can't come back in the site again. Now they can try to sign up under another username and all that, but if it's the same IP, it won't work. Now, the only way around that I know of is to log in maybe on your at work or something like that, where you have a different IP address, but the same kind of behavior, I'm sure, would be repeated quickly. So you might have to ban 2 IP addresses. But I think other than that, I don't think the trolls really want to go through enough trouble to keep signing up at different locations to try to get in. But if they do, we have a way to get rid of them. So that's pretty much that. I mean, is there any other rules you think we should have for bumping people off?
I think it's the people would like to know that at least that, you know, the people hopefully that are in this group are serious about what it's about. So it's a protection for people. They'll feel that they're a bit more protected, won't they? That there's not lots of trolls in there doing stuff.
Yes, exactly. And I think we probably should come up with a report a troll form or something like that. So that we can have, you know, if other people are complaining or whatever. My thought is we have multiple people. If it's, I mean, if it's obvious, it's obvious. But if it's like, I think we should have an easy appeal process if they get banned, unlike YouTube and things like that, where it's not easy. Just they could fill out a form saying, go ahead.
Can I just say something, Rich?
Sure.
Yeah, about trolls, you know, you're talking in essence some sort of a troll patrol, you know. So we have a list of the trolls or whatever, and we can, you know, yeah, keep them out or whatever. Keep our eye on them. Is that what you mean?
Well, once they troll, let's say they do what they generally do on YouTube and use hate speech or whatever, and they do bully you or call you effing this or that or the other, or cause strife in any type of thing. All you have to do is, if you're an admin, go to the users and find that user, and it'll have an IP address next to them. You just copy that IP address, you paste it in a box that's right on the website for admins anyway, and that's it. They're gone. They can't log back in again unless they use a different IP address. And like I said, this actually looks behind IP switching devices and things like that, so it'll still know it's the same person. But it's a fast, easy way to get rid of it. And if someone appeals and we're wrong, let's say it was, you know, whatever, they're sorry or whatever, and we decide to give them another chance, it's very simple. We just find their username won't disappear. They just won't be able to post or do anything anymore. We just go back, find their IP address again, and take it out of the box, and they're fine. So they'd be back instantly. They wouldn't even have to sign up again. It's a very simple, easy way to get rid of people or bring them back. What I found a lot of sites do is they will ban them for, let's say, 24 hours or 36 hours, something like that, like to give them time to think about it. It's like a sort of like a strike thing. I didn't necessarily want to get into that. But anyway, I do think we should have something externally where they don't have to log in if they are bumped off by us, that they can appeal it and send us a message and we can take a look at it. You know what? When I had the Edge of Truth and I had, I don't know, I think 500 or 600 users, I don't even think I banned one person. It's usually when they go to a site like that, other than YouTube, the trolls don't take the time to go and bother you on another not mainstream thing. So I don't expect it to be a big deal at all, but we know we can get rid of it if we have to. And again, we're going to be absolutely isolated from any of the major forums, platforms, whatever. Like I said, there'll be integration with them as far as if you want to take your post from there and put it on our site or vice versa. That's the goal, to eventually have that interaction. Also, I'm looking at a plugin where if you're a username and you're like Sun and Moon Group United, you can put a thing on there where it'll show your YouTube and your statistics, and they can click right there and sign up to your site. It'll take you right to YouTube, so you can do that. That's one of the things I'm looking at putting in later as well, like an add-on after we do this. What you're looking at on the screen right now, let me go back to where I was, and I'll come back here. This has to do with Forex, so it has nothing to do with it. I want to show you some ideas I have from this, because I like this kind of forum idea here. All right, so we have the home, and then we have profile, edit profile. From here, you'll be able to upload your own avatar, just like you can anywhere else. We're going to have friends where you can connect with not only friends in general, but we're going to create different channels so that if you have certain interests, you can join groups that have those channels of chat, so that you can be connected with people with similar interests. Now, some of that may be later on after the site goes live. That's some pretty delicate programming that has to go into that. But everything I show you is going to have a lot of interaction, fingers poking in the other side. For example, when we go to forums and we search forums, there'll be a search that will just search the forums. There'll be a search like here that'll search the whole site. But if you want to search only a specific forum, I think I've created only one. I called it Back to Nature, and I thought maybe there would be learning how to go organic or hiking outdoors, different things like that, back to nature type of deal. This is the issue I'm having a problem with: major categories, subcategories. That's what I'd like someone to arrange, and then I can just plug it in. I'm not good at arranging those things. For example, with Jay, he wants to do teaching through ballet. I have no clue what to put that under. Is it education? Is it alternate education? That type of deal. That's what the kind of help I'm looking for at this point. But
that's
when
arts,
we get,
isn't it?
what's that?
Arts, ARTS.
Yeah,
Yes, arts.
That's what I was thinking. I did send you an email once, Rich and Karen, about basically, if you think about, the arts, there's 7 liberal arts, and if you look under those, like use that as an umbrella, you can't really go wrong, can you? In essence, with now we're talking about Janie's dance and stuff. I mean, that's under arts, obviously.
Yeah, that's an excellent category. Did you send the email to my new email address I dropped in the share area last time?
Just send it back to me. It was just a list of ideas that
Astral... yes, I've got that. I'm sorry, I didn't know who was speaking. I'm not looking at the thing. Yes, I do have that.
Just to say also that Chris UK in the chat room says that he's keen to help. You'll find that maybe the people can help in different ways, Rich, to help you do this, or help in this web page and stuff. It's good when people are saying they're keen to help. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, I think what I'll do next week is I will, I want to show you this logo large here. There it is.
Yeah, I like that with the people.
Now we can have something totally different if you want. Doesn't matter. That's something I just created on the fly at a website. So if anybody's artistic and wants to change it, like I said, I'm not going to be offended or anything. I am not an artist. So
I love it.
I really like the emblem with the people in it.
okay, cool. The more I thought about this, the more I realized that this is really a forum site, like an old bulletin board.
Yeah.
Just when you start to think of the interaction, it all comes down to subcategories that you want to be into, and different authors and contributors that we can have. They're going to be gravitating towards certain subjects only, and that's great. That's really what we want, because we want the best people in the best categories. But that forces you into a bulletin board system, and that's why I'm showing you this right here. Now, this is has to do with Forex trading, so it has nothing to do with our site, but I want to show you some of the ideas here that I'm thinking of for it. You have the different threads, or the different forum threads that are right here. Now this page here is not the page actually I was looking for. Oh, let me go to forums. No wonder I'm on the wrong page. There we go. This is more the idea here. You have the different forums that are listed one on top of the other. Let me show you one place where that can be. Instead of this guidelines here, the different ones will list down here, the different forums, and they can go and search or whatever on their own separately. So that's one idea of what can be in that main drop down on the main page, as well as another idea would be to have a separate forums page like this, but on the main page, instead of forums listed here, it could be the latest post, no matter what forum it's in, with tags. So people might just say, oh, there's something that has to do with organic living. Let me check on it and see. So we can do it either way. We can list it. In fact, this template here is called something list. It's after, do you guys know what Craigslist is?
No.
Okay, Craigslist is popular over here. It's a free site where you can go. It's a forum site, and you post items you want to have for sale. It's like an electronic garage sale or yard sale, where you sell items you don't want to get rid of, or your services. If you fix cars, you can post your business on there and get businesses. But people post under different categories and things like that. And in fact, let me see if I can pull up Craigslist. I don't go there, so it's not even going to be in my cache. Show you how that is.
I hope also that people appreciate the fact that you're actually, I mean, obviously you've thought about it and started things, but you're showing everybody live. So I hope people appreciate that you're doing this, Rich, in front of the people.
Oh, good. I'm glad. The idea is to help. It really is, with whatever. This is Craigslist right here. And this is a pretty cool layout with the different things. See all the subcategories you can see real fast for housing, apartments, housing swap, houses wanted, office space, parking and storage. I mean, you have all the different things. This is actually pretty cool. This is a list. This is what's called a list format. That list format we can actually put on this main page right here if we want to. And I think that would be kind of cool, because if you know, like what we just discussed, it's something in the arts, you can click on forums and find, click all forums, then search arts, and it'll pop right up. So it might be a better thing to do something like this instead of listing the forums on the main page. And these are things we can always change later as well. But in fact, once it's programmed in there, it's easy to change. You just have it open up at a different window. WordPress is very good with that once you get it working. The other thing is, again, this is how forums are done, and I want to get some kind of template that's close to this. And let's say I wanted to check trading systems out. I click on it, it opens up, and then it lists all the different threads. And the way this does this is the newest one is first. This was done 8 minutes ago, 9, 10, 11. There are thousands of users on this site. And then like over here, it'll show what poster, who the person was that posted it. Now we can do it. I like the idea of the newest first. And this could be something, again, going back, whatever these are, in any forum could be, going back to where we were, in this place right here. This is just a placeholder right here, the guidelines. This will be a separate link connection or over here like you can see. The other thing I want to show you is the chatting capabilities, which are not developed yet. But here's one right here. I got something called Wise Chat. It's a premium plugin. And it here's my logo under non-administrator, and under administrator, this is my logo. I just wanted to see what it looked like with two different users. You probably won't be able to see it here, but if I highlight over it, it says Mr. Thrive and Survive. I got to go into what's called the CSS and coding and change that to a darker color so you can see it, or make the background a different color. But it also gives you, if you can see it, I can't click on it to make it bigger or anything, but you can see it says it's got the United States flag. So you can be able to recognize, if you don't recognize the flag, you just hover over it like I am now. It shows the United States. Now, if I put it in Facebook chat mode, this will be minimized, and the end user actually will have total customization over this. Do they want to hear like a little bleep or a sound when a new message comes in, or when somebody notifies them, or somebody comments about them or not? The idea is eventually to have total customization of that. If you don't want to have little bleeps coming up, you can get rid of them. If you do, you can put that on there. If you want to be notified when one of your friends is on there, it'll happen. I've even saw an app I might use where you can have what are called best friends, where maybe you only get bugged from them, even though you may have befriended other people. This chat area can be unique to one of the forums. So if you're into the arts and you're always there, you can search for people online that's what they're into, and then ask them to be friends. And you can limit it to that channel, so that it's like a different TV channel. If you're in that that forum, then it will only show you the friends that you have in that channel on the forum, if you show desire. You come back out to the main page, you can see everybody, or you can see everybody all the time. There'll be a place up here, who's online. It'll list the different icons as you go across people that are online here. What else? Oh, let me show you some of the options, because this chat looks awful here, because I've done no programming with it. I've just thrown it in there. I do have that here so I can show that. Here's one of the screenshots, how it looks, or how it could look. We can use this format, or we don't have to, but I think this looks actually pretty cool. Here's how it would look on your phone, and here's how it looks over here. Again, these are totally 100% separate from any other platform, so they can't take it down. They can't spy on what you're saying, and different things like that. But again, this is...
Can I ask
yes,
you, Rich, what's it called, that?
I'm sorry?
That chat.
What about it? What's it called?
What's it called? Yeah, is that the name? Or is it just an example?
I didn't hear all of it, but I think you're asking, is this what it's going to look like, or is it just an example?
No, I'm asking what's the name of the chat app or
It's
program,
called,
whatever called.
Yeah, it's Wise Chat Pro.
Okay, yeah.
Now I can show you a couple screenshots of the different way it's going to look. I think this is what it is. This site I can mess with.
Is it brand new, or is it something that exists? This chat?
Is it brand new?
Yeah.
No, it's been around a while. In fact, I was considering this when I had the Edge of Truth website. So it has been. The problem with this is it's in Europe somewhere. It worked out good last night because I had an issue getting this plugin from PayPal, and they were up. I guess when I was up at that happened about 2 a.m. So I think it was Central Europe. So it was probably about 10 or 11 a.m. their time. This is a darker chat. This actually looks pretty cool too. And I'll let somebody artistic decide what they think is best. Here's a lighter colored one again. And I think that's close to the original. It's a little different. Anyway, there's the original right there. So there's different options we can have. And I believe if we don't like one, we can change it as we go. Another option that I think will eventually be there, probably not at first, is when you see your username down here, or if you click on the username, we can actually put not only their location, but we can also see where they participate in, like they might be in the arts forum or the all natural forum, whatever, different things like that. And then we'll probably maybe do that by icons. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see how it displays. But the idea there is to try to make it as easy as possible to find either people that are interested in the same thing that you are, or people that can help you with an issue you have in that area. And the only other thing I think I want to talk about right now about this is how we set it up. I think we obviously need administrators. We need more than just me to be able to administer the site. That's one thing. The other thing is we'll need content editors and publishers, people that are experts in their field, and give them access so that they can contribute. I'm not sure if they'll be able to do it remotely or not. That's something we can look at down the line. I know it's possible. It's just another plugin to put in, and I don't want to make it too complex at first. But my goal is to make this the most interactive and easy to find information versus any site you can find. If you're looking for something specifically that you really want to learn about or whatever, I want people to be able to find it easily and get the information they want. I also think we should have, for each of our categories, the best of on mainstream media. For example, YouTube's got a lot of how-to videos on, of course, every subject under the sun almost. And if people have, I'd like to see people nominate this video as the best for learning how to do whatever. And if people agree or more, or when we ask for resources, we will get more and more people recommending the best thing, and then we can highlight that and put that in the forum as well, even though that is on mainstream. And what we could possibly do eventually is take that, let's say, video that's on YouTube and put it on our own server eventually, so that even if it disappears from YouTube, it's still on our site. Let me see what else I can show you. Okay. Each user, I'm not sure if it will still be up here. You can see their activity, their profile, notifications, messages, friends, groups, and then you can change your settings here. So there's already all kind of different interactions that I'm getting ready to plug together. The bad thing is that there's a program called BuddyPress. Is that it? BuddyPress? Anyway, it's the default that comes with WordPress, and it's fantastic as far as creating new users, groups, and everything, and it's free. But I cannot get it to work on the site. And the big downfall with BuddyPress is they're notoriously known for poor support. I actually went and looked at the issue, and the solution was to totally strip out the site and start over. And I wasn't willing to do that. And then it still might not work. There was no real good answer for why the problem doesn't happen. Just some servers it happens that way, where it won't let you submit any kind of form. That's the problem there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop sharing, and then we can discuss everything, unless you want to see something else on the site or whatever before I stop.
I was just going to say, Rich, I think it's awesome, so far so good, as you say. But just to simplify it, that is good enough to start with, and then in the meantime, well, that's up and running and building or whatever. Surely we can, you know, either develop something that's, you know, tailor-made, or we can find something that is exactly specific to what we require. You know, I mean, we're many people. Someone might say, "Hey, this is even better, simpler, and it doesn't cost anything either." You know?
Yes, exactly. And there's a lot of free stuff that, I mean, I've been searching for free and pro apps, and I've picked what I thought was the best. Whether there was some free stuff that was better than the purchased ones. And yeah, I guess what we need is a WordPress expert in some area. That would be really nice. We could just turn it over to them if it's somebody we could trust. I'm trying to learn WordPress and all these different plugins all at the same time. And it's okay. My aggravation is actually with bugs and fixes and not being able to get the downloads and things like that. That's my main issue right now. The learning curve is steep for the integration, but that's okay. As long as I can work with the site, even if it takes me a while to get it right, that's okay. I don't like the problems that PayPal has. I've purchased like 3 different products, not necessarily for the site, but the redirects don't work then afterwards, and you're just stuck there with, what, you know, how do I get this product? And so I don't know. It's just that's been the hassle. And I'm going to try the site one more time since we're talking, just to see if maybe it is really up.
As well, Rich, this we're talking, right? This website will be for everybody, for all the people. So it's not just going to be a flat Earth site, is it?
Hey guys, the site's back up.
Hey.
Can we join now today? Can we join now today or what?
No, the sign up isn't done yet. But you can, if you type in Peopleforpeople.life, you'll get there right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to look.
And I'm not sure what's going to be functional because I don't know what they did to fix this.
Yes and no. Maybe. How about there you go. Rust and us first.
I see it.
Back.
So we can say good luck. It start.
Well, it isn't going to be very functional.
We should give Rich a clap.
Yeah, that's what I asked. Sure. Bravo, bravo. Wow.
I was actually just able to log in, believe it or not. But that's still, it's a little screwy with what that does. You click login, you fill in whatever. Actually, it might ask you to sign up. And you guys can try if you want. On the main page, it'll say login. You just click on that. And I think if you're not signed up, it'll take you to where you can. Either way, there's a little kind of a problem with that. It's you put in your username and password, and then it loops back to WordPress's login, and you have to do it again. So that's something I got to fix. Just one of the typical bugs when you're trying to do something.
Nothing's ever simple, is it?
Nope.
I was just saying, Rich, that, you know, obviously we come through this because we are flat earthers, but this site is for everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah, even the links on the right, you can, I think they're all going to work. They might take you to the same page. It might not be a lot there, but let me click on register. Yeah, you can actually click on register and register for the site. It's got a double CAPTCHA, I think, or does it? I don't know. Someone, if you go to the site on the right-hand side, tell me if you can sign up. It'll say under Meta on the lower right-hand side of the site, there's a register. I'm curious to see if that actually works. That's one of the last things I was working on when it crashed.
I see sign up register. It says filed under, and then it's got MrThriveAndSurvive at, and I'm not sure if anything works.
Okay, let me go back and share my screen again, and I'll show you where to go. Also, I want to do several videos for new users to teach them how to get around and show them all the different features we have. I don't think there's anything more aggravating than going to a site and you don't know how to navigate because every site's different. There we go. Okay, you see down here where it says register? Here's the site
Right.
down here. Now, when I click on that, it takes me here. Did everybody else get there?
Wait a minute, I'm going there now.
Let me log out. Login also logs you out, or it used to. Well, it says I'm logged out. Interesting. Let me show you the problem here. I put my new username and password in. I click log in, and it kicks me out to WordPress. So I have to put it in there again.
That on my phone. I just see it goes to there's sign up and register because this is on a phone, and then I go there and I see you, but I can't do anything.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't even looked at it on the phone. Oh, you're talking about up here. You're clicking on sign up register. Let me look at it on a phone. Let me look at it on a phone so I can direct you, because I want you to scroll down to where it says Meta, META. But let me see what that looks like on a phone.
Oh, right. Okay. Down here. Okay. Yeah, I get it now. You go down to the bottom.
You get it? Okay. Mine still won't load on my phone, so it hasn't propagated through there yet. So not all people are going to be able to see it yet. But I'm curious, if you do register, if it takes you to a form to fill in your information. Actually, that register is not. That's not the registration. It should be there. So I don't. When they fixed it, they must have kicked out the last few things I connected, or maybe they didn't save. But anyway, that'll be connected. Once it is, then I can let people know that they can sign up, because once I have it done on the site here and connected through the different plugins I have, it will create a user in WordPress so that they never have to do it again. So I'll try to do that fairly soon, so that even if the rest of the site isn't signed up, people can actually sign up. And once they do that, I'll put a checkbox if they want notification emails, and it won't be spam or anything like that. It'll be stuff like, okay, now the site's up, you can go use it, or whatever, your username is active, that type of thing. It won't be used to spam anybody.
Don't let me sign in. Each time I put the code in, it just kicks me out. So there's something missing at the moment.
Yeah, that's not the form I created, trust me. So I'll have to go back in now that it's here and fix it. That was one of the last things I did connect, and then I changed the path and it died. So they probably restored this from just before that, because that is not my register form at all. It's a clean form. Let me see where this takes me.
Oh, our Kroll has said he's signed up and he's in there and he's logged in.
Oh, okay. Well, somebody's got it done.
It doesn't seem to like me on my phone. It might be on the phone.
Okay. I don't doubt it, because it's not the form I created. All right, now I can go to forums. And here's the forum that I created, Everything Natural. And then there's a subcategory. And again, these are not in stone by any means. This is just me playing around enough to put something up here. From organic foods to outdoor activities. And then you have different subtopics and who the person was who posted it and how long ago. And then we can go to those subtopics. Okay, it's the logo of the person that commented right here. And these are, as I have here, nothing particular, just looking for ideas for this forum. I just want to see how the formatting looks. This is really what I want to do right at this stage.
Can I just say, Rick?
Sure.
Just say, Chris UK signed up. He got his confirmation email. The link on the email doesn't work.
It doesn't work?
Yeah, you're going to get teething problems, aren't you? You just will.
Yeah, it's just not connected all together, right? I'll let people know when it's time. I'll do a video. And I'll let you know as well.
Thank you.
I don't want to get into oh, here's another thing I didn't even talk about. I'd like to have where we can do webinars, private webinars on our site, where we can teach people live, just like they're sitting in front of us in a classroom, so we can have Q&A. And also then we have those archives so they can always go back and look at those training sessions or whatever they are that we have. That's one other integration I'd like to have here.
That's brilliant. That's a fantastic idea. Good.
Thank you. And also, like, let's say you're part of this Everything Natural. You can have a click box where you want to be notified for any kind of webinars or things like that that are coming up. So you won't have to keep looking to see if a webinar is coming. You'll be notified if you're in that group and you want to be notified. One other thing too, and I'll have to go back and find the plugin. I thought it was a brilliant plugin. Let's say I like Everything Natural, but I really like a certain subcategory under this. And let's say somebody else has pointed out an article that I really like. I can add those like to my favorites so that you can gather all kind of information on any subject that you really like and go back and review it anytime you want later in the future. So you can take what you like from the site and add it to your own personal library, so to speak, and view that library anytime. It's your library and your resource center. So that's another thing. It's like a build your own library function I want to put in here. So you can take the best of whatever you like and put it there for your friends and family or other people you want to share it with. You won't have to go back and see, where did I see where they were talking about how to do the garden with the Back to Eden stuff? Oh yeah, I've got that in my folder or my library. So they can go and search for it there instead of searching the whole site and trying to find these things. So if I go back to forums. There's full functionality here also for photos, PDFs, and videos. If you post a video link, it will immediately make the box so that people can watch the video. There was a I think is it Amazon or not Amazon? Maybe it's Amazon. There's a place where you can sign up for free. It's really hard to deal with, where you can post videos to there that are not connected to YouTube and things like that so that you can post them on other sites. I'll have to try to look that up again. I don't know if anybody's heard of that, but that generally needs a programmer unless you buy like a monthly. I used to have a monthly thing where they made a front end that was very easy where I could upload videos and post them on any website, including YouTube. And it had extra special features like at the end, it would redirect you to a certain page or redirect you to a certain website or forum. If I can find that again, and then once I know what the name of it is, I'm sure we'll find somebody that knows how to do the back-end programming because it's really close to a machine language programming, or at least a lot more closer to machine language than what I'm dealing with here. But that's something I think we can integrate later too, so that if YouTube goes down and our video links are there, all of a sudden they're going to be dead links. Well, they don't have to be if we put them on these other, I can't remember. I wish I could remember who it was. They have a humongous amount of storage and speed. It might even be a military contractor or somebody that does contract to the military. I just can't remember who it is right now, but it worked fantastic. It really did. And it was totally free of YouTube and everything else. So have any of you guys, anybody have any comments or anything about this or whatever? I will, you know my email address, right, Karen, that you've been emailing me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anybody can send me emails there with their ideas or whatever, or if they already know they can help or do certain things.
We can put that in the chat, Rich.
Pardon me?
Do you want me to put that in the chat room? Your email?
Yes. The private chat room?
Yeah.
Yes, your Facebook too, please. Yeah.
You don't want to contact me at Facebook. You'll never get me there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm a pretty much an anti-Facebook person. Sorry.
So, yeah, I'd like to say something about this huge project. Actually, this project will work people for people. I mean, you don't need people work there because it's people for people. I mean, I'm a yoga teacher, so
Oh,
yeah. So if somebody looking for, I don't know, question or I don't know, advice or connect with me, so they looking for me for yoga. So it's people for people. You don't need to be there. So it's working by himself.
yes, exactly.
Yes, yes,
Exactly.
yes.
I didn't know you did yoga.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yes.
So we got ballet and yoga already.
Uh-huh. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Have you
Rich.
guys?
As well.
Go ahead.
I mean, obviously, I know because we've talked about it before. But for this hangout, for this chat room, for the people who are going to listen to afterwards, this is about making communities for the people locally. Can you explain a bit more about that?
Oh, yes. So the first, yeah, I only described the first half of the idea. The first half of the idea was to get us free of the controlled mainstream media, so to speak, or the CIA controlled outlets, which are Facebook and YouTube, things like that. If you don't want to believe they're controlled by them, that's your choice. But all I have to say to that is, look what's happening there to innocent people. So that was the first idea. The second idea is we always talk about different things, but we've never taken action as far as helping people get off of the system that we've been thrown into. For example, I keep going back to the same thing that I'm very familiar with. Like, I know a lot of my health issues are from non-organic eating and things like that before. And I've also had a lot of different exercise and things like that, knowledge that I could pass on to others that you just can't find anywhere else. And you have different people who may need help with whatever the thing is. They might have depression issues. They might be suicidal. They might be on drugs, or they might just need some friends to speak to. And probably 2,000 other things I'm not even thinking about right now. We don't know of any place, or I don't anywhere, where you can go and find interaction where you can not only get free advice and people willing to give their time for free to teach you their skills to help you with whatever your issues are. And you don't even have to have issues if you're just interested in learning, or if you're interested in teaching as well, or both. To be able to combine that together so people could find people resources, not government resources, but people, independent people resources. Not only with an online community, but as Karen said, eventually you find enough people in your area that you can actually meet with personally and just help each other get through life, form these communities away from the communities that we've been forced into by our governments, which are artificial, constantly staring at this and doing this all day. They're making us more and more isolated from one another and able to, even though they have all these platforms that connect us, have you noticed it's mostly division and I'm right, you're wrong, or he's right, she's wrong. And there's no real resources of people wanting to help other people. So hopefully I'm describing that correctly, but the idea was to merge those two together into this website and to hopefully just keep growing, sort of like the Library of Congress here, keep growing all the different subject matters and subject matters, so we can get specifically what you're looking for answered or done by people without having to pay somebody or go through some agency. So hopefully I described that. Now, others may see it as a different kind of thing. It's an altruistic type of site is really what it is. So did I describe that well?
Yeah, well,
Can
I
I
think
say a
that's
couple
really
of things?
exciting.
Sure.
It's all right. It's only because I've taken some notes here now, right? Also to keep track of what we're saying and stuff, you know, but also to, you know, to fall back on and say, hey, we didn't do that yet, you know, but hear me out anyway. But we're talking, this is all what we'll be saying tonight, right? Basically, and different things that we can come forward with, different ideas that we can have, right? We were talking before about a people count, how many there are, you know, so when you signed up, we know exactly the amount of people that there are. Uploads sites, I'm thinking of somewhere where you could have like uploads, you know, a photograph, like something that might be relevant in some aspect or other, you know, sunset, sunrise, moonset, whatever, anything really, but that kind of an idea. What about a swapping, buying, selling side where you can swap ideas or swap things, or you can buy them or you can sell them, you know? And what else was there? I've got a few things here, like,
that's the main
there's just so many things, man, like an inventor's workshop, for example, where people have got ideas, but they're not come to fruition yet because they're missing some piece of information or some piece of tech that, or whatever it is. I'm just not quite there yet, you know. They can write out where they're at. People can also add to it or join them in their discussions and so on, like a forum kind of thing as well, and then progress, you know, obviously. These are just some small ideas.
Yeah, those are excellent ideas. And just to let you know, every member will have the ability to upload anything, as long as it's not above a certain size. And, you know, like I said, pictures, videos, PDFs, movies, whatever. We can talk about what's allowed and what isn't allowed. And if it's larger, we'll have a spot where they can contact us so that we can approve it to upload it if it's worthwhile. Because we're going to have things that are going to take a lot of space up, like the webinars. They're just going to take a lot of space up. But yeah, everybody will be able to upload anything at this time. And that's the good thing about IP banning. If they upload something they shouldn't upload, they're just gone.
Yeah. I also thought, this is still on it, whilst the website's being created, is it not possible to have a list of jobs that need to be done, right? Basic list, and then you could put on it like, I'm on it. Like, let's say if it's actively being looked upon, it could be colored in red, and if it's finished, it can be colored in green, you know, so that I'm on it. And then when it's done, it's completed, it can be colored in green so that people know, all right, we're so far ahead in the process. So you can keep an eye on, everyone can keep an eye on what's been done, what needs to be done. Can they help or have they helped? You know, do you know what I mean? So that we're all part of it and we're all building it, you know, and then it'll be done so quickly and we're all a part of it, like I said.
Yes, it's a very good idea. Here's the only issue with that is that if there's only certain people that we want to give direct access to the administration part of the website. Obviously, if we get somebody that has untoward things in mind, they can trash the whole site in a few seconds on purpose if they wanted to. Let me try to think that through. That's a fantastic idea. Yeah. How about a green, yellow, red, or red, yellow, green? Red is an idea that's submitted. Maybe yellow is it's approved.
To do idea.
Yeah. Yellow is approved, and being worked on, but not completed yet. And then green is it's done. Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, yeah. I need a cup of tea.
Already?
Yeah, and most important is that all this project, all these people for people become in real and like in TED stage, once in the year or once in the few months, we do something together and, um, yeah, in public, in some place or, yeah. And I mean, people show themselves, you see,
Yes, absolutely.
not stay virtual, no, yeah.
What I'll do early on, I will put on the main page the um, ideas or something like that, some kind of link where we can click on. It'll be a form. You upload an idea, and then I'll try to translate it into what we were just talking about, where we have different color codes and things like that, so that anybody that's signed up can post to there and say, "Hey, I'd like somebody to talk about this," or "I know how to work on this. Can we get this done?" or whatever. That's fantastic because it'll put all the different ideas together, and I'll ask for skill sets too.
It's gonna be so unique, so unique.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know anything like it.
exactly, exactly. It's gonna
And we
be
know
special.
we
Yeah,
know there's going to be a lot of alternative science there.
beautiful.
It's a lot of work as well, isn't it? A lot of ideas.
It is, but it's cool. It keeps me occupied.
What have you did when you're not? Oh, because when you're not talking, it echo. When you're not talking, it echoes. I was going to say, what have you done, Rich?
I'm sorry.
What have you done with People for People? What have you done?
Well, you see, just the website. It's well, you know what? Actually, right now, I could show you. I'm going back there. I want to see if I can show you something. It is not really letting me log in. That's the. Oh, you know what? I think I can fix that. Just a moment. I'm trying to get to the site and log in for real, so I can show you all the different things I have on the back end. Pardon me, just a moment.
And which email did you want me to put in the chat room as well?
The Proton Mail one.
Okay.
I can put it in there myself. If you want.
What, in the chat room? Oh, okay. Thanks.
I'm still trying to log in.
You need an extra pair of hands now, don't you? To do it all.
Yeah, I'm going to be talking to support once we get off because although they fixed the site, I can't log in. So that's interesting. Yeah, if I could show you all the plugins that I got for it, you could see what's coming, but I just can't do it right now. At least we can see the site. That's one good thing. On just a separate subject, I've been dying to tell all of you in Europe. Have you heard anything about QAnon and Angela Merkel, who Angela Merkel really is?
No, but do tell us now.
She related to some German guy.
Angela Hitler. And I'm not kidding.
What do you mean exactly? She's related?
It's Hitler's daughter.
Or some relation anyway, yeah.
Evidently, they took his sperm and froze it. And the idea was, of course, the Illuminati and all of them, they do things at a certain place. They wanted to wait for a German pontiff, who was Ratzinger, to get in there. And go and look and see when he became Pope. It was on April 20th, which is Hitler's birthday. And even though she was supposedly born in July, supposedly whoever was inseminated with Hitler's sperm, it was to make it so she would be born on or around April 20th. And maybe they did a C-section or whatever, or induced labor on April 20th. But supposedly she really is Hitler's daughter. But we'll see. We'll see if it comes to fruition. But there's a lot of pictures that people have come up with, and there's a lot of, she looks like Hitler. She does. And there's some symbolism in her haircut. I always thought her hair was awful. But anyway, just some news I couldn't wait to tell the European people.
Wow. Don't know what to make of all that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Why do you say that? Why has that come out now then?
Why do they say what?
So why has it come out now?
Investigations, Karen. Lots of investigations going on with a lot of people. Don't look at the news. Find the real news. Go research the real news. Isn't that right, Ridge?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to be deceived? Watch the mainstream media. That's all there is to it.
Cartoons.
Exactly. Cartoons with an agenda.
Yeah, but the thing is this, right? Most people are immune to what is going on, and they need to realize that there is another world, with this world what we're living in now, the internet, right? I can see something outside happen right in front of me. Let's say there was a bank, and I could see there was a bank robbery going on. I could be filming it as it's happening, and I can go live and say, hey, look, there's a bank robbery going on. I'm watching it now. I'm filming it now. This is live. This is happening. But what we see on the TV is they'll film something after it's happened, get a few pictures with some people that weren't even there, talk to people that don't know nothing about it, and that's your news. You know?
Yes. And I learned at a very early age, I think maybe I was 15 or 16, somewhere in there. We had a woman that lived in the neighborhoods. Her name was Mary Dobkin. And my brother was on her baseball team. She got different baseball teams together, and she sponsored them. And she was just mean-spirited. I mean, she did a lot for kids, but her personality was mean. And she would yell at the players and honk at them in her car. She was crippled. And anyway, they did a movie. Gene Stapleton starred as Mary Dobkin, and they made her out to be the sweetest little old lady you ever saw. And I was like, whoa, talk about a distortion. I also saw a friend of mine was involved with some sort of incident with a kid at school, and we knew all the facts. We were there, and the news reported on it. When it came on, it was like, what story are they reporting on? This isn't even close to the facts.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Hey, we laugh, but I mean, this is serious stuff now that we're talking about on the internet with what's going on. What's going on in the world? What's going on with Trump? What's going on politically? What's going on with Clinton? What's going on with Obama? There's so much going on. People are like, yeah, what is going on with him? Like, I mean, come on, guys. Delve into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if they weren't worried, they wouldn't be censoring. I mean, this is hard. This is hardcore.
They're over the target. They must be over the target because, yeah, like you say, hardcore censoring, and people are just disappearing by the second, man.
Yep, absolutely. In fact, all of the major QAnon people, they all disappeared in one day. So that's a lot of trouble to go through, both there and on Twitter and on Facebook, by the way. And that's a lot of people to get rid of in one day if they're not over the target, as you say. If there's nothing to it, why keep messing with it?
Hello.
So what's actually happening with all the QAnon stuff then? Exactly, Rich?
I know, but I haven't really given it much thought because I've been working on the site so much. A lot of details with a lot of the scum that's going on in the around the world. And That's about it. No, it's just, it seems we're getting closer and closer to the public knowing. One of the latest posts yesterday said March Madness the public will be informed soon, something like that. In fact, I'm going to find it and show you. Hope. There we go. I'm going to share screens again just to show you one thing here. Come back. Okay. Here's the QAnon post. If you ever want to know what it's QAnonpost.com. And they're always the latest ones there. There's a lot of stuff about Hitler, as you can see in this picture here. This is talking about Angela Merkel. He's connecting the dots. Q, by the way, is Trump. I'm hoping I can find the site. It is actually Trump himself. There was a hint. He said, wait till you find out who has been talking to you. That was the first hint. I think I want to go to post 881, if I remember right. You see this people in Kenya. He's tying together. Rex Tillerson, who was the Secretary of State, was just fired. This has something to do with Obama. This is what Q posted about Obama. When I'm done, it'll be like you were never even here. And then check this out. When we are done, he'll claim Kenyan citizenship as a way to escape. And they think maybe that's why Tillerson went over there to try to arrange that, a way to get Obama out. So he fired Tillerson. Now, of course, that's not the public reason he was fired. But I want to try to find this one post if I can find it. Yeah, this right here. This is so funny. Oh no. Yeah, there it is. Come on. Wait till you see this. This is a loop. Let me mute it here. Watch his hand. See how he made a Q? All right, it's going to loop one more time. There it is. So he made a Q with his hand. I'll let you see it one more time. Oh, he cracks me up.
Then?
What's that?
You think he did that on purpose then?
Oh, absolutely. He's never done anything like that before when he was speaking. I've seen many of his speeches. And here's the one other thing, if I can find it. Houston Astros. For example, when sports teams that win their respective sport, like the football championship or baseball championship, whatever, those teams, they go to Washington, D.C., and they give the president a trophy, not a trophy, but a jersey. And it always has the number of the president. For example, Obama, they always gave him 44. Bush, they gave him 43. Trump, 45. He's already gotten 45 jerseys with his name on the back of the jersey. So the Houston Astros were just invited to the White House. I got to find the image. And instead of giving him jersey 45, wait till you see what number he held up. Right here. See Trump 17? So he requested that they give him 17. The 17th letter in the alphabet is Q. This is the only time. This is the only time I've ever seen a president not get his number. Like his should be 45. And he has been getting 45s from the other sports teams. But this time, he must have requested 17. Anyway, little clues and hints like that. It's pretty funny to follow them. So I'll stop sharing. There we go.
Kind of got to be a genius to work it all out, hey?
Yeah, I think he's a big time genius, really. He acts stupid and crude and whatever, but he trolls them all the time. But nobody in the media picked that up. You know, they were so worried about how he held his hands around the bottle. That was another indication too. He was giving us a clue about something with the Fiji water, because Fiji was in the news then and different things going on. And he was pointing that out. I was pointing that out without the media knowing what it was. But they made fun that he was holding that water like that. It's just the stuff that he does is so way over their head, and they just hammering for it. I can't wait till he takes down the mainstream media. That's what I'm looking to see totally get crushed.
You did think it would happen before this, though, didn't you?
Absolutely. But once I knew that he was going to do military tribunals instead of civilian trials, I knew certain other things would have to be in place. He recently signed, I think it was 18 different changes to the Uniform Code of Military Justice. That is the legal constitution, so to speak, for people in the military or people that are tried under military tribunals. And the changes he has made, he has tied it into the different acts that Congress has passed, so that these people who have committed treasonous acts against the United States and seditious acts can be tried outside of the court system in a military tribunal and then sent to Guantanamo Bay. He's made those changes. And he's made certain exceptions, like General Flynn is the one who went against orders and told Trump that he was being bugged by Obama before Trump was sworn in, and they could technically go back and court-martial him and try him as well. But he put an exception for people like that until January 1st of 2019, where each case could be looked at individually and Trump can pardon it. So he's taking care of everybody that he needs to take care of first, and he's setting up these necessary military tribunals, and he's also got to prove sedition. So that's another thing he's doing. That's a lot longer type of deal than a simple, what we have here called grand juries. They indict, and then it goes to trial once the indictment is unsealed, if it is sealed. And the indictments keep going up. Last I heard, it was 13,600, I think, sealed indictments. When they start becoming unsealed is when it's going to hit the fan here, because those on the left are going to think it's a dictatorship power grab because they're watching mainstream media and believe the lies. Do you want me to post my email here, Karen?
In the chat room, please.
Sure.
And just to say that Jay has joined us on the panel. Hi, Jay. We can't hear you. Jay. We can't hear a word you're saying. He gets to speak and we can't hear him. Come through on your phone again. Oh, okay. I'll put that in.
I have a solution for our suffering. You hear me?
I'm listening.
Yeah, sorry, your turn. Yeah.
We should, how do you call when people, you close the company, so the people that don't happy, so they stop eating and they make a war like this, How do you call it? We should all of us, all the people who care about Mother Earth and the nature, and they think and they know that these people should be in the present, and we should stand up, all of us, and and say our voice together, yeah, and bring this change, because it's the technologic, it's our freedom to speak, our freedom to breathe air, our freedom to drink clean water. So it's everything. So we should decide which day we are going to stand up in the White House and everywhere, and stop all the government in the world, stop them and change and bring Mother Earth heaven. And we should trust ourselves that we can do this, realize to do this.
Yes, the
One
reason.
thing, Yudit, just explain to Mr. Thrive what you did the other day. I know that Jay wants to say hello in a minute to check his microphone, but Yudit, explain what you where you went the other day to Mr. Thrive.
In my country, in Israel, no airplane in the end of the weekend in Shabbat. No airplane in the sky. Only the small airplane, private airplane, but not jumbo, not the big airplane. No train, no bus, and no airplane in Shabbat. But 2 weeks ago, I pictured airplane for jumbo spraying the sky terribly. And it was very incredible to see this. So I picture them in the video, and I go to the police, and I tell them I'm here to stop the airplane in the sky, spraying the sky. They do it in Shabbat. So they tell me we are stop them, and you can go home. They didn't want to open a case. I insist, and they open a case, and they didn't want to give me their name because they said it's not for the media right now. It's not for the journalists. So I'm waiting for the names. But I did something. I go to the police, even if it's look like stupid. This is my law to defend myself. Somebody tried to kill me. What can I do? So we should stand together, all over the world and change this reality. We shouldn't pay tax. We should get Wi-Fi free. We should get land free. We should get everything free. Electricity free, water free, everything free. What is it? This slavery. Why we accept this? Why? Why? Why we can change it? We should trust ourselves that we can change it together. Yeah.
I 100% agree.
We must react. We must react.
We're in the position we are now because everybody remained silent for so many years.
We
The
must.
one difference that Yudit had is that she lives in a very religious country, and the day she's talking about is a religious day when no banks are open, no trains, no planes, nothing. So she could actually identify it because on that day she can prove that these planes are in the sky. But we don't get days like that, do we? We're multicultural, multi-everything. So there isn't, oh, look, there's chems training us. It means nothing. They're doing it every day to us. But Yudit was lucky that because it was a religious day and they were up spraying, the police had to do some kind of report for her. And you said they were arrested, didn't you, Yudit?
Yeah, but Karen, I have another option. To go to the airport and kick this pilot in the ass. You see? I don't care. He already tried to kill me, so I need to defend myself. You see? I can't stand and let him kill me or kill my children or my grandchildren. I should
Thank you for doing it, though, Yudit.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
many people go to the police about it, do they? Anyway, thank you for that, Yudit. Jay, do you want to say if your microphone works? No. I don't know what to say, Jay. We don't get a silent Jay very often. No, it's not working.
Oh, something's there.
He's there, but his microphone's not working.
I'm back.
Anyway, at least she's... Oh, you're back. Hey, at least she's been productive, though. Hey, Rich.
Yeah. Busy in this kind of way, anyway. It's been a long time since I took on a project where I almost knew nothing about it and had to try to learn everything from scratch to put it together. My other sites, like the Edge of Truth, I had somebody develop that one for me, and matrix busting was almost a perfectly done template when I got it, so it was very little I had to do. This is the first one, and because it's so much interactivity we want to have, it's going to be a lot of a lot of this, different fingers coming together to make it work.
Yeah,
But I know
it's a big project, isn't it? I mean,
it's
I can already
huge.
feel it. Right?
It's absolutely huge.
Can I just mention something? I met a games like developer a few years ago online. She's from Greece, and she develops games for children, you know, to get them thinking in a certain way. I'm just thinking that maybe I should get in contact with her and see what help she could be, you know, to us. This is now in a sense of like games for kids, small kids, you know, about 6, 7, 8-year-old or whatever, or even younger. And, you know, like the basics for recognizing colors, recognizing shapes, recognizing alphabet, numbers, simple things like that, you know, the basics of education. And I think a lot of these games that she did, it was in that direction, you know, and I think something like that would be nice too, you know,
I
for
agree.
kids, little kids.
And the other person I was speaking to on another channel the other day, he came with, for kids, it's called JLC Games, or I'm sorry, JICgames.com, Jesus, or GILgames.com, sorry, JesusIsLord.com. It's Christian games for kids that are very realistic and not just little cartoons and stuff like that. And those are free or very low cost too. So there's a lot of people doing a lot of good work behind the scenes that can't get exposed anywhere because they are doing good work.
Putting your email out in the chat room again. I really do like, by the way, this whole part of the website to be communities for people, you know, so that people can help each other. Really, really hope that part takes off, because, you know, even as flat earthers, many people feel quite alone, and if people sign up and want to build their communities up, hopefully they'll get to see there's more flat earthers just around the corner from them and can help each other.
Exactly. It could be next door, and you know how it is. You don't go around bragging about it.
We should do. Be proud. We fail that, don't we? We fail to recognize that we are people, and we have our beliefs. You know, we believe in the flat Earth, or we know the Earth is flat. So we should be proud in that. You know, I stand for what I say, and if anyone asks me, I say to them, "Yeah, 100%. Look me in the eye. It's flat." You know. Yeah, I think we need to stand up for ourselves more. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, it's the same thing as Yudit said. Nobody is speaking out.
Yeah,
on anything.
I like to say something else. Next month is Flat Earth Day. Next month, in the 1st of April, it's Flat Earth Day. I call all the channel, everybody, to stand up.
It's a bad day. That in my head, that just sounds like a bad day. April the 1st, it's April Fool's Day. it's a bad day, you know. People just will, yeah.
Let's choose a day. We all.
That's only what I think. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Let's choose a Mother Earth Day, and we all stand up and bring Mother Earth heaven for the benefit of all. All the channel, everybody, let's change our life. Come on, let's do something.
Yeah, I like that. It needs to be internationally, you know, acknowledged. Definitely.
I thought of we were talking as well, like this one wouldn't cost that much money, was actually if we all just wore a flat earth t-shirt on a certain day and went out in it. You know, it's one day, hopefully, you know, it doesn't matter if you take a sign with you, I suppose, but just so that you're walking around or you're either on your body or holding something and it says flat earth, and just have one day trying to see, I don't know, it's just an idea anyway.
Well, it's simple, isn't it, Karen? Like the poppies, we all know those that have poppies, it's to celebrate or to remember those that were killed during the war, the 11th of November. Yeah, I'm remembering Sunday, usually the 11th of November. But we remember by seeing the poppy, we relate to it. So, yeah, I mean, if we've all got a T-shirt or some sort of, yeah, emblem or whatever, would be good. Definitely.
I think that should be the summer so we can all actually wear them. I'm sure you guys wouldn't want to wear T-shirts outside right now.
No. Oh my gosh.
Maybe that's something you could do on Peopleforpeople.life. Maybe I don't know if you really want it like so linked to flat Earth, because we were just saying that this is for everybody, so it's not just flat earthers. Although obviously the first people to join will probably be flat earthers because they've watched it from here, and you. That's going to be for everybody, but maybe you could do things like that on there.
We got to find somebody that makes flat Earth T-shirts that isn't a ripoff.
Yeah.
Or you know what?
It's a ripoff.
I know somebody that might be able to make some. Maybe not, but I'll let you know next time. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'll
T-shirts are easy. They're easy.
And then the T-shirt day, that's the day maybe for the Flat Earth Day that gets remembered as the Flat Earth Day. The day that they wore the T-shirts public. So many ideas. Poor Rick. I think his mind's whirling around as it is with the webpage.
Well, I'm going to along with signing up people, I'm going to have a forum so that people can post ideas and tell us what their talents are if they want to teach or do something, or any ideas they have, and then we can all take a look at it. So what I'd like to know is who wants to be fellow admins, the administrators. I'm also thinking that whoever is, we should probably have one person in charge of each forum. Like the arts, that should be somebody that's definitely into the arts, that's going to be very active online, has the time, and that person also will have the ability with the administrator to not only they won't have the ability necessarily to change the website, but they'll have the ability to monitor people, block them if necessary, that type of thing, manage the messages that come into that group. So that's different. There's different roles that are going to need to be filled. Like I said, we're going to need more than one site administrator, me. And it would be good to have it on different continents, because I can't be up 24 hours helping people with their issues or doing things with the site. I'm just throwing this out there. We don't need this right now, just to keep it in mind. If anybody on this panel or anybody watching is interested in something like that.
I'd like to volunteer myself for, to the administration side of things. I don't mind doing that, Yeah, and also I'm on the other side of the Atlantic, so.
Oh, that's
I think
awesome.
Sun and Moon, that's why we're here, isn't it? Sun and Moon group. So Sun and Moon will be helping.
And I think what we can do is we can even test it out too. We can privately, each one that's going to be involved with the site directly, we can do a webinar, and using the site, that'll be a good way to test it. but privately with us, so we can show how to, I can teach you guys how to administer the site, how to block people, how to do this, that, and the other. Things that
Yeah.
won't be public, but we can handle behind the scenes. And I think it'd be a great way to test the webinar system. Send out emails to you guys, have you click the link to sign up, and then let's see if we all go there and it works. And if it
Yeah,
doesn't, we
yeah.
can do something like this privately. But
Basic beta testing, isn't it?
yeah, exactly.
I'd like to say something. In the start of April, next month, in 4 April, it's the Martin Luther King Day. And he said, everybody can be great because everybody can serve. Yes?
Everybody can what?
Serve.
Oh, serve. Yes.
Yes. And he also said, the time is always rich to do what is rich.
Yeah. I mean, it's always been tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. I think that was the idea behind the site to do this. Nobody was ever stepping up to the plate to do it. Hey guys, I'm gonna step out for a minute just to get some water. I'll be right back.
Okay. Wow. So what would you like to do then as part of this then, Astral?
What? You're breaking up there.
Can you hear me now? What part would you like to do then, like to help?
Well, like Rich is going to need help with administration and stuff, you know. I mean, I can do that. Yeah, just helping out in that sense, you know, or whatever else I can help with. There are also people in the chat here said that they're willing to help, you know. I mean, and I wrote, many hands make light work. So the more we are, obviously, in essence, to help in that sense, to start it anyway, and, you know, keep it running, keep it smooth, iron out the wrinkles and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it'd be something like that, you know. Basic stuff.
I'm going to create a website, email at the site. It'll be something like help. No, I shouldn't use that one. How about something like contribute@peopleforpeople.life. And if people will email me there with different things they think they might be able to do to help with the site or whatever, we can do that. I'm going to create that actually while we're talking. I can do that. Unless you think it should be called something else. What do you think? Contribute. Is that what it said? Contribute?
Yeah, so yeah. That'll do, won't it? To-do list.
So don't send anything there yet. Just give me a couple seconds.
So you've got quite a lot whirling around your head at the moment, haven't you, Rich? I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your eyes that you're thinking about so many other things.
Interesting. Oh, remember I told you I also got Peopleforpeople.online. I'm going to have that roll right into our site. So if they type that in, it'll come to us also.
I know that actually on the day you bought Peopleforpeople.com when you thought you did, but I actually much prefer Peopleforpeople.life because people are for life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was something that turned out good. Yeah.
Yeah, it turned out like the best possible, I think, really, for what you wanted.
Okay, so that's now active. Contribute@peopleforpeople.life.
Okay.
So if anybody who's watching this or watches it later and you have any ideas or you can contribute to the site in any way, or you want to be, or you're proficient in something that you think that we could use, please email me there. So I'm going to drop that. There it is.
Okay, I'll put that in the chat room.
Yeah, that can go public, actually. And when it becomes, it will. When it pardon me?
So do you think that, in a way, explain a little bit, because this isn't just something that's going to be done overnight, is it, Rich?
Not overnight, but I think in about a week or two, I can have it functional mostly for the basics. And then we can, add the bells and whistles on top of it. I think I went into this with the wrong attitude. I originally was trying to put everything together exactly the way it was going to be at the end. And just that chat alone, once I get that, trust me, that's going to be a very basic chat at first. That weeks later or months later will look good. I need to change my mind and get the functionality first and get the nice, pretty stuff in later. And that way people won't be frustrated waiting forever on the site. But trust me, that just that chat plugin alone, it could take me probably a month to learn all the nice little things I can do with it. And I've got probably 20 plugins that I have to learn and put into this. I haven't even talked about yet how we're going to handle email, where I know we're going to have it to where you can sign up and get emails from different people. But the question is, can we have your email address at Peopleforpeople.life? That's what I eventually would like to have, so that you're separate even with your email. So you never have to worry about your information being scanned by the government directly. And it'll be stored as your username, not your real name. So it's just a way to remove yourself off the system. So mine would be Thrive and Survive at Peopleforpeople.life, or whatever it is I end up using for my email there. That's down the line, the email integration. That's kind of complex too.
Cool.
But we'll create little things like these email addresses, and each one of us will have our personal ones that we can have on the site once we're signed up. Each one of us reaches different people, and you can give them your email address. They can contact you, and then we all get together. We can say, hey, I had 3 people say they wanted to do this or wanted to see this on the site. And then somebody else would say, yeah, I had 4 people that actually suggested the same thing. Then we say, oh, yeah, that's something we should do then, integrate on the site. I'm sure there's 1,000 ways that we could help assist people with whatever that we're not even thinking about here.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, the name's just gone out of my mind. But somebody here was talking about, can I put I do meditation. Can I put meditation on there?
I'd be interested in that myself. I want to learn meditation. I'd love to have that on there. And see, if I go to YouTube, there's 500 videos on that. Which one do I know to go to?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm not into that. I'm trying to learn it. I don't know what's good and what's bad. I can tell you pretty good flat earthers and not so good flat earthers, but I can't tell you about, meditation because I don't know it. So that'd be perfect. And if that's their thing, they'll know the good resources. See, we can have authors or contributors resources.
Lev, do you have anything to say? Levkungfu?
Yeah. I love all that kind of things, like meditation and stuff like that myself. Like, I'm still yet to make my video, but I'm going to be doing it anyway. But I love all these Peopleforpeople.life stuff. Like all the ideas and stuff. Like I was on last week doing a bit of a presentation talking about moving forward. How if the military were used for disaster scenarios and never used for war, you know what I mean? And I kind of think all those ideas which I kind of had, they could be put on Peopleforpeople.life and stuff like the Apache helicopter with the water cannons and stuff like Grenfell Tower, putting fires out like that, where the emergency services can't do it. If you have an elite strike force of that, you know what I mean? Instead of having a military version, it's kind of like it's backwards and it's against what we want and stuff like that. So I think any of them ideas, I don't know.
Yeah, we were talking about that, weren't we, Lev? Like, instead of the military being there for wars, the military there to help the people.
Yeah, like tsunamis, earthquakes, all sorts of stuff.
Instead of fighting people, they're helping the people.
It's like
Yeah.
you know, physics and other, you know, Carrier Bag Island and all that.
That would be the nicest way for it to go, isn't it? I know we're not there. We're the other way, where soldiers go to war. Well, fake wars. But wouldn't it be nice if...
That's it. It's the government tells us that, though, don't it? But now we realise that we are just one family. Then there's no point in having war. And the people know that, because there's no people anywhere in the world which actually want it. It's only governments. So now that if we have that power, then that's how the military would be. We wouldn't be against each other. We'll be using it for something, you know, useful.
Yes. Separately, we're weak little sheep. But if you put us together, we can be a big force. We've been bombing people for 16 years straight. For what? Why did we bomb Libya?
Think about how much it costs for one bomb.
Yeah, for real. For real.
How many years you say? You said 16 years?
Yes, it's 2002.
Continue, man. We've been bombing forever, basically. I don't think there's not gone a year by that there's not been bombs dropped somewhere or other, you know, war for a few months or whatever.
Obama was the first president ever who served 8 years and was at war the whole 8 years. And he won the Nobel Peace Prize. He bombed 7 countries. Yeah, really.
How's that happen? Take it off him, man. If you're killing people, there's not a peace.
That's just incredible.
In you, is there?
It is absolutely nuts. But I don't know, most of the aircraft carriers today are nuclear powered, but when they weren't, we were getting 3 feet to the gallon diesel on the ship. Think how much money that is just to patrol the waters, much less bombs and different things like that. And the jet fuel, that was 2 million gallons every 3 days. Think of the money
Really?
for war.
Hey, Rich, just changing the subject completely at the moment. Have you seen all the stuff? I mean, even I did a video on it about aeroplanes and compressed air. What's your take on it? Because I've been watching videos today, and the moment there's a problem with the engine and the compressed air thing goes, it sounds like a gun going. It goes bang, 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 bang. That's it. That's it breaking down. The plane has to come back, has to make a landing.
I haven't seen it yet. I did see the video you did on it. It had a picture of the engine, like a copper-colored engine with the air going in. I really don't know much about it enough to comment on it. Are these problems with
the Concorde's wings were so small? They're supposed to have tanks in there, but they were so small, those wings, like so thin. I don't know. I just don't know anymore, because I mean, like, you see the tankers going out, an engineer will say that fuel goes in, and I'm sure the small planes, but I'm sure the passenger planes are different now. And Astral's worked in an airport, but like, I just can't get over this bit where if it's got all these tons of fuel in there, what with 30 passengers being placed out on the plane because there's only a few people in the plane, what difference would that really make? You know, that 30 passengers will take the plane over. I mean, then something surely else is happening here. I don't know. I'm not an expert, am I? But these engines are compressing the air. They're definitely compressing the air. And then Lady Co-pilot who comes on, she says that obviously the cabin has to be pressurized. They have to have the machines have to be on. You know, obviously if they took off without it pressurized, the people would die. So compressed air is already being used in the plane. So what are the engines doing with compressors in them? And I mean, they say that these tanks are in the wing. I've got a picture of these flaps down on the wings. And I mean, there's only a small section of the actual wing that's not a flap. So there can't be tanks in there.
Yeah. You talk about gasoline tanks, petrol
Yeah,
tanks.
unless they're lying about what they're really putting into the aeroplanes in the
I
first
don't.
place.
Yeah, I don't know how it works with the civilian. I know how it works in the military. They do put fuel into the wings. In fact, I was in aviation fuels when I first got on the aircraft carrier. I was in quality assurance, and I used to take samples out of the wings sometimes. But in fact, as soon as they would take off the carrier, talk about waste, they would fill them up completely full with fuel. But the pilots knew they were only going to be out for an hour or two. So as soon as they took off the aircraft carrier, you would see the fuel squirting out both wings into the ocean as they were flying up. They would dump it immediately. Crazy.
Really?
Yep. And it happens every single day. So we're dumping aircraft fuel. We've known for a long time that there's little bugs in the ocean that'll take care of petroleum products and get rid of it. Because you don't see any oil slicks coming ashore, do you, anywhere from all this dumping of oil? It's like the oil spill, the big oil spill they had in the Gulf, and they tried to scare everybody and say it was going to be, once the main thrust of all those billions of barrels came ashore, it would just totally wipe out everything, and then it just nobody ever could even see the oil anymore, even ships that went through the area. And then they discovered that, lo and behold, there's bacteria that God created that eats even petroleum and gets rid of it, and they thrive on petroleum. So these little bugs in the ocean, they eat petroleum and then they get rid of it, and then they go away. They die because there's no more petroleum. So it's never been a big issue with petroleum in the ocean. Yeah, initially, yeah, you can have problems if it gets to shore. It'll mess up the ocean, or it'll mess up the shoreline. But the long-term implications out to sea are not bad. Just it's almost like everything's a lie.
But then, if you've got like hundreds and hundreds of gallons of fuel lugging around in an aeroplane, basically we're flying around in a bomb.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. Yes, they are.
I mean, surely when the aeroplane turns, like sometimes they come out of the airport, they go up and then they turn really steeply coming out of some airports, maybe because of the mountains, maybe it's the direction they have to go. And I've watched some of them now and their wings are almost right down. Well, surely the fuel's got to move. Then surely this could affect the plane. Could flip the plane out of the sky with, thousands of tons of fuel on it. I don't know, maybe that's a bit much. Hundreds of gallons of fuel. Then that suddenly moves, then the plane, I don't know. I just find it all a bit crazy now. I can't get my head around it.
I still want to know how they make something like that working out of space. How do they get something to push against nothing? And everybody comes back with the example. Well, just think a ballerina, if she was on skates and she threw a bowling ball up with her hands, that would give her momentum backwards. It's like, fine, okay, but let's show me the mechanism out of space that's making the bowling ball go up and down or whatever the weight is to make yourself move. And there's, of course, there's no quote unquote gravity there. There's no density differences supposedly. So I still don't understand how anything is supposed to move in space. What's the propulsion method if there is no atmosphere?
I agree with you. Something else as well.
Did you guys get a lot of snow over there?
Well, they say it's going to snow tomorrow.
But
yeah, we did get a
like a
couple of weeks ago. Okay. We did, yeah.
But weren't they saying it was going to be like 2 feet?
It was pretty bad further up England. It was bad here, but not as bad here. It was a couple of days of. It was really bad, and then suddenly Sunday came and it all melted, and it went it melted really quickly. It was amazing. Can I say something else, Rich? Rich, how fast? Just back on aeroplanes. How fast do you think those jetliners are going up the runway?
Major airlines?
Yeah.
I would imagine.
How fast do they go on takeoff?
My brother's a pilot. I'll have to ask him. But if you're talking about commercial, I would think it would have to be at least 200 to 300 miles per hour to overcome drag. I don't know that for
No.
sure, but
No, no, about 110, 120 miles an hour.
that's
And
it.
when I went, yeah, and when I went to my last plane flight on a small plane, I asked then how fast we were going on takeoff. They said 80 to 100 miles an hour. But obviously the bigger planes go faster, about 110, 120. You think when they thrust those engines down and you get the pullback, you think, here we go. It is like a rocket taking off on the noise. 110 miles an hour. I mean, the size of the things.
Oh, yeah.
I would have said 200 miles an hour. But you see, everything seems to be a deception and a lie. And I mean, this guy, enslaved by no media, he's saying that his P900 tells him it's this distance, and Google Maps are saying it's that distance. So everything is cut in half. So he's wondering where the size we are, and the planes aren't 7 miles up; they're about 3 miles up because his P900 tells him they're 3 miles up. And your sight of vision and everything, you have to watch him. Yeah. And he's been talking a lot about this stuff with compressed air and yeah.
Who is this? I know you sent me the link, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, enslaved by no media.
Okay.
Every day he makes a video.
That's sort of what People for People's about.
Yeah. That as well. I just, the chat room, and anybody that listening, Thrive only a few weeks ago came on Sun and Moon for a first time to say, hey, I'm going to listen. And by the end of the evening, he'd started something else completely different and huge. Peopleforpeople.life.
Well, you never know when you're talking to other people of like minds, what's going to happen.
Yeah, but you've also had enough as well, haven't you? You've had enough.
Yeah,
of things.
I mean, if we're gonna be online and with YouTube, it's my idea was always to try to wake up just one more person with whatever the subject was with truth, and you get beat up so badly there, and you have to fight the system also and worry about censorship. And with the other things we were talking about that last time, it just made sense to go in this direction in my mind. In fact, I'd like to eventually just get off of all regular social media. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it from the people that are on there, the bots and the real live people that are hateful, and the companies, the corporations that run them are hateful and against people. So why do I want to support them? They don't support you. You know how many views I get on my channel, and I'm making $200 some a month in revenue. How much do you think they're getting? There's hundreds of thousands of views and minutes, millions of minutes, in each month or whatever that are watched, and they're just giving you a couple peanuts while they collect it all and control your life.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you only have to look at how successful Google is, or how successful these other platforms are, right? I mean, they're billion-dollar industries, aren't they? They don't get that money for nothing. I mean, it's us that have bought them. It's us that have made that company, by signing up to it. And however it is with all the advertisements and what have you,
Well, I don't know how many people remember MySpace.
Yeah.
MySpace, that was there first, and I thought it was a much better platform, especially back then, because Facebook wasn't that developed. But all of a sudden, Facebook, for whatever reason, that's the one that took off. And with Google and Facebook, we now know that they got all their infusion of money from the CIA and from our government. Why? Because these are data collection centers. Mm-hmm. They can collect data from us and feed it right back to the CIA, and that's why they have all the goods on us. And now they're starting to become militant with the data that they have to use against us. But that's why these platforms have taken off, and other possibly better platforms like the one I mentioned. To me, that was a much better, and I'm not into social media, but to me, it was a much better platform, MySpace. But they just killed it with billions of dollars from Uncle Sam.
Can I say something else as well? A few weeks ago, just before we had the hangout with you, somebody showed the link of the hangout and it set a troll in. And while I'm trying to delete them off the panel, they're obviously trying to block me off the panel. And then they were able to put porn all over the channel. Well, I first of all did an SOS to YouTube, like, oh my God, you know, I deleted the hangout straight away. And I wrote to them, people were sending me pictures. And I just couldn't stop the hangout. Eventually I did, but it'd been playing for a while. And then Patricia went on the internet and found this thing about snipers. And this whole thing where Google Hangouts know they've got a glitch in the Hangouts, which enables trolls to get in and also take over the panel. But they weren't going to take the glitch out. And then you realize that YouTube is owned by Google Hangouts, or Google.
Right. Absolutely.
So I wrote them quite a few letters and they never replied to me.
I've got 3 different plugins that I have to put into the site that have to deal with people trying to spam you, people trying to do what you just said, and what was the other thing? Torrents trying to attack the site to take it down. So stuff like that you just have to do. And obviously Google's got the money. They could have fixed that, but they don't want to. It's probably because they want to use the same attack methods if they don't like you. Might have been Google itself sending you those pictures.
It begs you to wonder, doesn't it, when they are leaving that in there that totally affects things, that in reality, anybody who's been porn bombed, YouTube should be apologizing to them because it's an error where the host even can't eject them. I mean, this is not our fault. So, oh, someone left's just gone. You know, I just think that YouTube should apologize to everybody because people lose their being able to stream for 3 months.
Yep.
It's not fair, is it? So they've set up something that's only going to work for them. And how do we not know, like you said, that they're not the people who are actually doing all these things?
It amazes me that something that's as complex as YouTube and Google can have it so hard to get rid of trolls on your site. Why is that? Makes no sense unless they want it to be there.
There's so many other things which happen really quickly, and yet when all these glitches they have, they take months to sort out.
I don't even know if they have the, I don't know if you've heard of this, but duplicate user. I've had other users using my name, even my avatar. And it was another user totally, completely. I wrote YouTube about it, and he wrote back and said, that's just the way it is. Now, I don't know if they fixed it. That was like 1.5 years, 2 years ago. But it's just amazing what they allow.
Yeah, and we have a problem on our Facebook group. He basically said that there was a glitch, which means that I couldn't see the, like you be able to see the views, who's viewed it and stuff. And they said that they will sort it out. Well, 1 year later, the glitch is still there. But on my, like one of our other sites, you can see all the views, but not on the main group. Don't you think that's weird?
Yes. Well, let me tell you why I'm not on Facebook hardly at all.
I think they're trying to kill the flat earth groups on Facebook, to be honest.
Could be. I know they've killed people of faith, people that talked about QAnon, people politically conservative and politically libertarian. Took them all down within the last couple of weeks, or attacked many of them, gave them strikes and things like that. Anybody talks about conspiracies, if you talk about the wrong ones. Oh, anybody talked about the school shooting in Florida, gone. I mean, just immediately gone.
Yes, John the Morgar was telling us that it wasn't about this hoax. It was about a different one. So he'd not been around a bit because of job and Wi-Fi and stuff like that, bad connection. And then when he comes back, he gets a strike. So he thinks, I better take the other one down. And he said 4 days after he took the other video down, so it was all he put it on whatever, deleted it or put it on private. he got a strike for that. So we got 2 strikes in a week.
Oh, here's the latest thing they're doing too. Ready for this? I have a video where I'm sitting there talking about flat Earth, and it's just clouds going by in the background. That's all it is. It was green screened, but there was clouds going by in the background. And that's maybe a 1.5, 2-year-old video. And all of a sudden I got a notification that somebody else was getting the revenue from that video because their content was on there from 4 minutes and 35 seconds until 7 minutes or something like that. Well, I went and looked at it. There was nobody else's content there. It was me talking. So YouTube automatically agrees with somebody who says they're the copyright of the material. And I wasn't talking about any subject that was copyrighted. I was just talking about flat Earth in general. So they automatically demonetize my video for me, but keep the revenue coming to this person. So we have people out there who are just throwing up these random, oh, that's my content on this video, and they're collecting revenue. They have nothing to do with the video or the content. And they're allowing that, and they're automatically making the YouTube channel you're guilty before innocent with YouTube. That's the problem. And on Facebook, what they're doing, if you notice, if you ever lose your password or whatever, or at least here in this country, they're saying, send us a picture to verify it's you or something like that. They're using all our facial, they want as many pictures of you as possible so that they can put it into these cameras for facial recognition worldwide so they can recognize no matter where you go, so you can't run from Big Brother. That's why I'm not on Facebook. And that's why they're so interested in having your pictures up there.
Great. And also, if you don't realize it, you've given them permission, because once you add the phone numbers and you've given them permission to go in your phone.
You have given them permission to totally take all your private information and give it to whoever they want. And how do you know if you've given it to them? If you have an account with them. All that fine print, that's what it says. It's in there.
Yeah, every time you put a picture up, it's not your picture anymore. It's not your video anymore. It's theirs once you put it on Facebook. But I, thank goodness, don't have my contacts on Facebook.
If I can interrupt, in a way, it's like data mining of the highest caliber. I mean, now, if you was to say to somebody, can we spy on you? Of course they're going to say, no, you can't. If you say to someone, can I track you all week, all month, all year, the next 5 years? You're going to say, no, you can't. Can I follow your every step the next 5 years of your life? No, you can't. But people aren't aware. That's exactly what they're doing when they're looking on Facebook. Like. I see what you like. I see where you've been. I see what you're eating. You know? And all it is they're data mining every single aspect of our lives, man. Everything. What time we get up, when we leave the door, where we go, you know, how many steps we take, for God's sake. I mean, you have a, what do you call it, pedometer on your phone. They even know how many steps you've walked in a week. If they want to know that, they can tell you exactly. These people in this part of town walk this much. Those people over there, they walk even more, you know. It's all data mining, and that's all they're doing. Everything, every aspect of our lives is data mined.
Yes, and that's why I wanted to make
Facebook.
People. Yes, that's why I wanted to make People for People absolutely disconnected from them. Absolutely. There's never going to be data mining or data sharing with anybody from the site, ever. And the only thing they're going to agree to when they sign up is to live by the love rule, unless you can think of other rules that we need to have, but I don't think we do. If you're going to spout hate out towards somebody else, then you're not going to be on the site. Like I said, it's okay to disagree. I don't have any problems with disagreeing. I have so many people that disagree with even the flat Earth videos or whatever that are decent people and know how to talk to other people, and there's so many that don't. And it's the ones that don't know how to act right. They're the ones that need to be IP banned. And like I said, from my experience, they're not going to sign up there anyway. They're going to run from people helping people. That's the last thing they want to do. We'll get some, but you know what I mean.
Rich, internet belong to us. This is mafia. I'm not agree with this. This belong to me. Internet is one side. Right now, it's belong to the system. We should go to the court. No, it's belong to us. It should be free. It should be free. All
But you,
it should be free and it should be security. It's private, and it's both side. It's both side. So we must change this. Yeah.
yeah, and I believe we do need an internet bill of rights where they can't kick you off for censorship and different things like that.
Definitely, I agree. I agree. We need to be careful that we don't lose the internet, man. You know, because
Yes.
if we lose our freedom of speech, we're buggered. You can't say
Yeah,
Yeah,
anything
and
then.
You know
What most-
what? You know what? If they do movement like this, I take all the antenna down. No one take. Oh yeah, oh
We love you.
yeah.
We love you,
I have
Yudit. We love you.
If they fight me tomorrow morning, I take all the antenna down. Yeah, sure. They can't say with me the world belong to me. The sky belong to me. And to
You know-
Yudit, have you got an Uzi?
we know there's no satellite to pull down. Yeah, most people don't realize the internet was created with taxpayer dollars all the way. There should not be a charge for it. It's already been paid for by us many times over.
yeah, with a lot of concern. We pay with concern, we pay. And they suck our blood and we pay for this. No, 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 no more. We are going to change this very soon. Yeah. You hear us? YouTube, Facebook, Google. You hear us? The internet belongs to us, not to you. You continue play game. We take all the antenna in the world down, down.
Yeah,
Enough,
we know
enough,
we don't have to shoot down satellites.
enough is enough. You make money, commotion, you take all the information, you've got all everything. No, 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 no more. Enough is enough. Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, Yudit is our warrior. Anyway, I really also hope that people do take it in the way it's meant as well, for that bit you've just been talking about, trolls and being able to delete people. Because, you know, obviously on Sun and Moon, we've learned to be, I know that we're not maybe millions yet, but we've learned to be with each other, even if it's on Hangouts and privately. So we do things together. There isn't this goal of where one of us wants to be the boss of the other person, you know? So I'm just hoping that that reflects in, that's what you want for your website, isn't it? This is about all of us working together and coming together.
Absolutely. That's it.
Because, I mean, it's a pretty cruel world, really, isn't it? And the more you wake up, or the more you get into this, the outside world just looks worse every day. You can feel it.
Yeah, and people, I think, every day too, are starting to realize what we're talking about. We need to get off of the government-controlled systems that are out there, or else we're going to be swallowed up by them.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there, Rich, that we need to take it back or away in some sort of a grassroots movement, you know, away from yeah, dare I say, prying eyes, in a sense, in a kind of a way to like reformulate and get together and group and know what we're doing and know what our, you know, our aim is, in a sense, you know. And yeah, my aim is just to find out what's going on and inform people that whatever you think, you're being lied to, you know, and research, look into things. Don't just take everything for face value, because even if you're reading it in a book that you truly believe in, there's a good chance that that's been, you know, doctored, you know. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because well, I'm just hoping, but even flat earthers show you that a lot of people think that they've woken up, but they still seem to be living this globe life of, egotistical and got to beat you. And, I thought that this spiritual awakening was a bit like leave your ego at the door now. This is about, it's bad enough what's happened to us already, isn't it? We need to sort of start learning to get on with each other again and help each other.
Yes, and learn what is good knowledge and what is bad knowledge. I guess it's really what's truth versus error. It's like, let me encapsulate it this way. The reason why many people are overweight here is because the government told us that low fat was the problem, or fat was the problem, and you need to go low fat. When in reality, refined sugars and carbs are more the problem. It's like everything they tell you is backwards. Yeah, everything they tell you is backwards. And they came out with a food pyramid, and what did they have? At the bottom was, or what you're supposed to eat most of, it was all breads and different things like that, which have been genetically modified and bleached out nutrients and all kind of crap like that. And the stuff that's really good for you is more towards the top of the pyramid. We should have known by the pyramid, maybe, that it was wrong.
Well, if you think about it, Rich, and everyone else as well, how many generations does it take to influence like a generation? It doesn't take that many, does it? 2 generations, you're already into it,
Yep.
Talk to the kids, tell them, no, the world is a pyramid, man, and show them a model of a pyramid. This is it. We live here. Keep doing that 3 times, 10 times, however many years it takes. We all believed it, didn't we? Except you were around then. Yeah.
I'm just still amazed that only some of us have woken up. I call it wake up, but realised. Only some of us have realised. I don't understand how so many don't realise yet or don't want to know. That just boggles me, really.
Apparently, someone in the chat says fluoride is good for you. Ask your dentist. There you go. Innit? Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's rat poison.
Well, I think they also did a big section on teeth in the 80s. They just drilled everybody's teeth out, and because they make so much money, don't they, from the fillings?
Yes.
I think you'll find there's many of us in the sort of 1980s. All they did was just drill everything out.
I found that when I went to the dentist with nothing wrong, I would come out with my mouth in pain, and I'd have to go back 3 months later to have extensive surgery or whatever. I was like, what? There was nothing wrong, man. And it's down to them. They've really ruined my teeth. They have. Yeah, plus what you eat, it's sugar, isn't it? Sugar ruins your teeth too. But I mean, yeah, you just cannot trust going to the doctor, going to the dentist. I mean, you can't trust them because what they got told years ago. But this is good for you. I mean, I've seen advertisements with doctors smoking, and they were smoking a certain brand of cigarettes because they were healthier for them. This is true. It's no
dentists
bullshit.
today,
I mean,
they give you high concentrated fluoride for your kids. They put it on your
there, fluoride toothpaste on the counters, man.
Oh, that's mostly what's here in this country. It's not an exception. The exception is trying to find something without fluoride. But they really are pushing fluoride for kids. Every time they go to get a dental visit, they get another fluoride treatment. It's crazy. And they believe that fluoride is just fine because they were told that in school when they went in to become a dentist. It's crazy. Totally crazy stuff.
It's a bit like putting suntan lotion on your children. What do they want? They're given factor 50 to put on. Oh my goodness. Knowing all those chemicals go to your liver.
It's the chemicals that cause skin cancer that they're putting on you. The best defense against skin cancer, in my opinion, is a good suntan. If you,
Hey, can I just say, Rich, in the chat room is Russianvids, and he's asking for a link to come on. What do you say about that?
are you asking something?
Yeah, Russianvids in the chat room is asking to come on the hangout. I was asking you, what do you think about that?
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. I'd say yeah. I saw a video of his the other day with Patricia Steer. He's been around. He's not been around much, has he? I'd say yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, then you just chat for a minute. Then I'll just send him the link.
Is it Russianvids? Someone said don't do it. You get palm bombed.
Oh golly, yeah.
Who is it?
How do I know it's him? How do I know it's you? I've given you a wrench now. I couldn't stand to be pawn bombed again. I really couldn't. That was just such a horrible evening. You know, waiting 3 days to see whether we were going to get a strike.
No, listen. Let's be trusting. Okay, don't do us a palm bombing now, Mr. Russianvids. Be good.
What do you reckon then?
Well, yeah, just say, yeah, it's him. And if it isn't, hey, we can close it down, right? It'll make for an interesting evening. Oh.
He says, yes, it's me, no lie.
All right, let's do it then, yeah. I say yeah. And I'll take the blame. I will.
Okay, Astral, for this evening then, I'm going to give you control of the panel as well, so that, yeah, me. I'll message them. I'll have to do it on YouTube.
Boom, 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 boom. Rich, I was talking earlier about... Oh, sorry, Karen.
Well, I was just saying, Rich, it's up to you.
Go for it.
Do you think we should add... Yeah?
Well,
okay.
I don't know how you verify. I don't know.
No, a lot of people saying don't do it, but I mean, hey, if it's the guy, I mean, we're good, aren't we?
Here's a way you can verify it. You can send the link to his YouTube PM channel.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, then can you just talk to each other just for a minute while I do this then?
Yeah, get him on.
Sure.
I mean, it is probably him. It looks like it's his icon anyway, that's for sure.
Well, Rich said that people copied his icon, didn't they?
Mm.
Anyway.
Yeah, no problem.
68 subs. You got less than I have.
68 subs.
Yeah.
Who's got 68?
I'll take the blame. Go on, I'll take the blame. No, this guy.
That's not Russianvids.
Obviously, he doesn't subscribe to people.
You know what it's said here? That we allow them to do this.
Look, I would allow him, right? And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, I was wrong. But let's just give him the benefit of the doubt. That's what I'm saying. He wants to come on, let him come on. And if he's a palm bomber, then I'm sorry, guys. We've been had. But let's trust him.
Yeah, I speak about something else now.
Sorry, can I just ask something? Astral, did you say that you looked at this person's Facebook and they've only got 68 subs?
No. I've not looked at... I've seen his videos on YouTube, but someone wrote in the chat here, I think Tommy Rogers, he's saying don't do it, it's not Russianvids. It might be just a clone, you know. I don't know. I really
Actually,
don't know.
can I say something? I'm not going to do it today because we've had so many trolls in the rooms lately, right? And even yesterday when we were on a hangout, there was somebody in there went, go on, show the link. No, I'm Russianvids. We can add you to the after hangouts, okay? And you can speak to Sarah, but I just can't because I just can't get. You're not the real one. I just can't.
I understand you, Karen. I would have took the blame, but I mean, I understand you. Yeah, it's your channel. you know, fair play. It's your call for sure. It's all good.
I can't right now, but then if they hang around, then they can join the after hangout. And yeah, and maybe Rich will stay on just for a little bit and we can have a chat afterwards.
Sure.
They're going, send me a link, not playing with you guys. I suppose if I send it to his channel, I don't know what to do.
Karen, we usually can't allow ourselves to
He's saying if it's not me, just cut my mic.
invite somebody that
Oh,
we
God.
don't know.
It's your tell me what. This is too funny. I'm reading
Well, I
the
suppose
chat
I
here.
could go put it on their Oh yeah, well I can go and put it on Russianvids YouTube channel, and if it's the real one, then they'll come on, won't they?
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
you two just talk for a minute. I'll do that. I'm just not gonna. Yeah.
Yeah, just
Right, I'm
Well,
going to.
yeah. Send a
Russian
private
Vids
message.
Russian Vids can email Karen, right, with his proper email address.
Oh yeah.
Also, you know.
Yeah.
No,
that's
I'm going to
it.
go to their YouTube. No, I'm going to their
Right.
YouTube channel. It's best because anybody can give me an email address, can't they?
Yep.
It's too funny. This.
I know, but we've been porn bombed lately.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
Okay.
they don't care our channel gets brought down, but I do.
It's not funny.
1 second.
Maybe
No.
maybe this is a
Yudit.
good idea. When we do people for people, we should get a like they do the second party authentication where you send a text message to their phone and they have to answer with the right thing. Nobody's going to
Yeah.
give you their phone number if it's not the
No.
right person.
True. It's like, you know, kids getting abducted. You can give your kids a password, you know. The password today is whatever. And then
Right.
if someone comes and says to your kids, oh, I've got to take you home. Your parents have told me to come and pick you up. There's been an accident. Well, if you've given your kids a password and they know it, then they say, what's the password? Password? She didn't give me a password. Yeah. Oh, there's a password every day. Every morning there's a password. What's the password? And if they don't give the password, then obviously they're not going to get picked up, are they? You know what I mean? Like a safety kind of net.
And that's a good tip for parents for the site.
Yeah, for sure. If there's any others, you know, other people that have got ideas or that they've heard or do things or systems and whatever, you know, it's always good. Yeah.
What happened to Jay? I guess he couldn't get his microphone to work.
Might be dancing.
So I'm sorry, where are you from again, Astral?
I'm from Manchester originally, but I live in
That's right.
Denmark.
Denmark. Oh, Denmark. Okay.
Yeah.
I was looking at your clock earlier. It can't be the right time, is it?
No, that's long dead, that clock. It's knackered. But I just leave the time at that. I don't know why. It's just, yeah, okay, let's turn it. There you go, 4:33 or something. Yeah, it's knackered. But it's, I don't know, it's kind of all right.
So what's the real time there right now?
20 to 1.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
If that's correct. Oh, no, 12:30.
12:30? Yeah, that sounds right.
12:32. Yeah. That fast.
This is the hardest time to coordinate because I live in Arizona. We don't change clocks. The rest of the country changed clocks last weekend, and you guys haven't changed clocks yet. So it's weird.
Yeah. I think.
So what's that make? I think it's like
change-
26 hours on the Earth now. And they say our model sucks.
Yeah. No, I think if we change, it's sometime around now, isn't it? Next weekend maybe, or the last weekend in March probably. I'm not sure when it is.
They move
Soon
it.
anyway, if it is.
They've
Just
been
forward,
moving it. Yeah, they've been moving it later in the fall and earlier in the spring for years now. Every year it's a different date.
Mm. But I do like it when it does happen, especially here because it's so dark in the mornings, you know. And then after a week or 2, 3, you get used to the, you know, oh yeah, it's lighter now, you know, that kind of thing. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like going to work when it's light, not dark. I hate driving with the lights on. You have to all the time here.
I don't know how you guys deal with the weather there all the time. Not seeing the sun. I mean,
No,
that
it's
drove me.
fine. Here in Denmark, it's fine. It's in Sweden where, and if you go further north in Sweden, then you get into the extremes where you don't see the sun hardly. I mean, it's I think 8-9 months maybe. I don't know.
Wow.
A lot anyway. They have
Well, I know
a high
in the
suicide
UK it's
rate in
cloudy all the time.
Scandinavia.
Really? Lack of sunlight? Probably.
Well, one thing I noticed, glasses. People wear glasses, right? So that obviously is lack of vitamin D, lack of sunlight, which is apparent, especially Sweden. But the suicide, I mean, it's like, well, what is it? Because they're so isolated? Is it because it's so dark, it's miserable, or they've got a naffed up state, or what? I mean, I don't know. But yeah, Scandinavia, they have high suicide rate. But I think it might be something to do with the lights, And we go around with it's dark everywhere, man. The windows are full of shit, plants, and give the light, let the light come in. Let's have a bit of sunshine when the sun does shine. You can't see it because we've got the curtains pulled all the time.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Well, I usually know this time of winter is when most people are starting to really get cabin fever and look forward to spring because you've been dealing with it for so long.
Just around the corner, but I was out earlier. It was snowing. The temperature is -3 today, centigrade, which with the wind chill today it's -11 outside. That's what it feels like, and it's bitterly cold. It is. Put your gloves on, cold.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I have boots, and they're good for down to -40. I can go out bare feet with my boots on, and they are good for -40. I mean, they're I think they're wool inside, and then they're like rubber. They're called Canadian boots. They're nice boots, man. Nice. And so, I think it's very important to keep your feet hot when it's cold.
Yeah.
Your hands
You don't want
and
to
feet.
you don't want to get hands, feet, and ear tips, right?
Yeah.
All the places that hurt in the cold. And the tip of your nose, right? I remember it well. Well, when we have 300 days are sunny here in Arizona out of 365. And if we ever get 2 or 3 days where it's cloudy in a row, we all feel down because it's just not what we're used to. And it's rare. It really is. Two days in a row is almost a record since I've been here in 2008. I think we had 1 day where it was 3 days of cloudy.
Sedona, it's Arizona, yes?
Arizona, right. It's a lot, the weather's a lot like Israel, except that I think Israel's a little bit cooler.
Oh, Middle East is very hot.
Yeah, we get up to, do you use Fahrenheit or Celsius there?
It's a degree in the summer. In the center of the country, you can get 40 degrees. 40 degrees.
Yeah,
And,
that's we get that here.
yeah, but in the desert, you can get 60 degrees.
Wow.
In the month,
We don't get that much here.
yeah.
We do get in the low 40s for quite a while too. For about a month and a half, 2 months, we get that.
In Eilat, very close to Jordany. In the summer, it's 45, almost 50 degrees. Yeah.
Yeah, I lived in Israel for a couple of years anyway, on and off. But I lived in the desert. It was about 25 degrees most of the time. And like Yudit says, Eilat, it's hot, Now I'm talking centigrade. Eilat, it was like 30, 31, 35 or something, around there, which is hot. It's
Yes.
I don't know. Hot, man.
Hot and
You
dry.
need to have a conversion chart.
Very
Yeah. Dry. Very dry.
Well, in Fahrenheit, we get to about 115 to 120 for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then we get what are called monsoons. I don't know if you get monsoons in Israel or not, but there's these really.
We don't.
What's that?
No, we don't. It's
You
very,
don't? Okay.
it's very comfortable weather.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like a thunderstorm with sand. It's really weird.
Can I just say something? I went and looked up Russian vids, and he's only got 68 subscribers. There is an interview with Patricia Steer, and that is in their videos. But they've only. I would have thought Russian vids would have had thousands of subscribers.
I say go for it. I do. But what's the chat say? Can we take a consensus?
Go on.
You have the
Yes.
final call. You have the final call, Karen, obviously. I mean, it's your channel, isn't it? But I mean, yeah. Well,
What did the chat room think? I mean, does anybody else know that this person who says that Russia's only got 68 subscribers?
he's just done a video, he says, proving it's him.
Oh, this is really bad doing it online, isn't it? Poor man.
Oh, yeah. I say give him
It's
the
just
benefit of the doubt. I do. I mean, if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. We learn. Come on. Your call. Sorry, guys.
What does he want to talk about? Did he say?
He's just listening in and said that he wanted to join.
Well, it's like he said, it's your
Okay.
channel. I don't know. I don't do this, so I don't know what the ramifications are.
Jack Dean says, get him on. I definitely think it's him. We say, let him on.
Well, can I just say something?
Go on, Patricia. Hello, Patricia.
Hello, everyone. The thing
Hello.
is, Russian vids, if it comes on and anything happens, we'll know it's him. I mean, you know, if anything bad happens, we'll know who's caused it, won't we? So, if you see it that way.
Did you send
Oh, you mean it's
a message to his YouTube channel, Karen?
No, I haven't done it yet because I just went and I just was a bit shocked to see he didn't have very many subscribers. Okay, then, well, it's documented. This sounds really bad, doesn't it? Talking about the poor person and they haven't even joined us. Okay, then. I'm going there now to write to them. Keep talking.
Or he could also send you a PM to your channel.
Yeah.
Could work either way.
Yeah, Russian vids. Write to me at mine and then I can send it back to you. Because I'm on, this is a live hangout and it's, yeah, that'd be better. Then I don't have to worry about all those things then. Russian vids, write to me. Oh, I'm there now. Dearie me. Keep talking. Keep talking.
See, this is a good thing because this might come up in our hangouts on People for People or webinars or whatever. Well, I don't think we'll be inviting any webinar people that haven't signed up. But if we ever decide to do live chats there, which we probably will eventually, this is something to consider. How to verify somebody who says they're who they say they are. I think that's probably the best thing to do. Have them send you something from their site that's public so that it has to be them, because if you reply to it, it's not really them, they'll never get the link.
Okay, then. Please, Russian vids, email me and I'll send the link.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it, I think. I think his channel was taken down. struck out by YouTube at one point.
Or he
I don't-
deleted it or something. Yes, something happened. Yeah, he's got another channel though.
Okay, then hopefully he'll write to me then, and then we'll add him that way.
Don't leave
So
us on a cliffhanger.
Oh, well, I feel really horrible. I never would have thought about this. I just said get them on, but I just
No, but in all honesty, it's all in all honesty, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, it's like a learning curve for everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, I'll wait for them to reply to me then. Oh, hang on, I've got some messages.
There's another video there that he's posted.
Has this happened before?
What's that?
No, don't think so.
Where someone's requested to
someone's
come
asked to
after
come
you? Yeah.
No. Usually, we like to meet people offline. Well, they haven't written yet, so we'll just have to wait then for a little bit. And it just sounds like we're very distrusting. But I waited all weekend to see if we got a strike. I was really worried because, Rich, that we sort of got a strike and we had to go to a different channel, and we just get this channel back, and then within a couple of weeks, someone's porn bombed it.
Yeah.
I think the only thing luckily was that it was rendering the video. Once I cut the video and actually got it to cut, it was rendering, and I deleted it before it rendered. So maybe that was just the only godsend I had, really, because they never wrote to me. I just find it all really weird. I heard of someone else being porn bombed a few days before, and they got a strike.
Did you talk to him or email him?
Who's that?
Russian.
No, I said to him to email me.
Right.
Just email me, and then I can send you the link back.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that should be a good verification, I would think.
It's horrible that we have to even be this untrusting, but like I say, on the other hand, there are, we've had quite a few trolls coming in this last few days, because I put a video out about trolling. It was Vinny from Vinny TVs, so we speeded it all up, and this one subject, troll after troll, and he was putting funny music to it. But it's just what a waste of time trolling. I mean, I just wondered, any flat earthers, do you go to the globe sites and sort of troll them?
Yeah.
To me, that's boring.
Yeah, you never catch us.
I just think what a waste of time. I'm not in debate whether it's flat and all that, so I don't need to debate it and argue it and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, my panel's being really slow as well right now.
Yeah, I feel the same way. That to me, the debate is over for me. And if you want to debate it, find somebody else who's new into it, or look into it yourself.
Yeah, I just want to get on with people who know it's flat and just get on with it now.
Yeah, exactly. There's still tons of resources of people that can bring them in on the elementary level and argue the different points until they're convinced one way or the other from the evidence. But at this point, I've been in it now 3 years. Is that right? Yeah, 3 years this May.
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah, and I still haven't found one shred of evidence showing curve or one shred of evidence showing the Earth moves.
No.
The deeper I go, the worse their case is. Naked, everybody can.
Yeah, doing all this goes on and on and on and on, doesn't it? On and on and on things.
Yeah, well, I guess we're still always trying to help one more person find the truth.
Well, as yet, this Russianvids, I haven't got a message from Russianvids yet.
Well, maybe we can find out in post chat. I'm probably going to have to leave at around 5 my time.
That's okay. I can't imagine that because you've got quite a lot on your mind, haven't you, with this whole site and everything?
Yeah, I've got things I got to take care of before they close today so that I can get back to work tonight. The last 2 days I've been so in this, I've let some things go I need to do.
That's okay. I mean, we've been going for nearly 3 hours now. So appreciate everything you're doing. And so obviously we've got to talk about this a bit more then in the next few weeks then, Rich.
Yeah, what I'll
obviously
do
you're
is
going to need
we'll keep in touch, and
help.
I'll let you know when it's worthy to talk about it again. Hopefully we have a lot of things done by next week and we talk about it next Friday, but we'll see. My son's coming in from college this week. It's spring break for him, so I'm going to spend a lot of time with him as much as I can. So I might not get as much done on the site as I normally would, but we'll see.
Yeah, maybe you have also a good idea, and yeah, your son. Uh-huh. Do this.
Yeah, he's been gone pretty good time this time.
Yeah, yeah. You know, in this project, I would like to see the police, lawyers, judge. I would like to see, yeah, many people like this. Yeah,
You know, I don't know if this is what you were talking about, but when you said that, it reminded me of it would be so nice to have a lawyer be able to give advice without having to go and pay $500.
Yeah.
You know, not
I think
you know,
that's what
not
she was saying.
yeah, okay, yeah,
Kind of.
not going to
In the
court
group.
for you, but you know,
yes.
telling you
Yeah,
if you
people-
have a
People
case,
to
at
help
least,
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
lead you in the
There
right
is
direction.
there is actually a guy coming on, David from Indiglo, and he knows about law and stuff. You know, about sovereignty and one-manship and all this kind of stuff. Strawman principle.
Volunteer.
He's coming on He's coming on in a day next week, sometime, isn't it, Karen?
Yeah, next Friday.
David. Friday, right? Yeah.
He would like to contribute to the web for Peopleforpeople.life, Rich. He'd like to put some stuff on there to help people.
Okay, awesome. We're gonna have to have whenever it's
If he didn't.
whenever it's robust enough, we're gonna have to have a chat like this and really push it out that we're looking for people and just spell it out on a chat room like this, and then I'll have it all ready, of course, where they can sign up and tell us what their talents are, for lack of better terms.
So, do we have a post or something that we can run with it? Start, go. See,
Yes.
yeah, we have
Well, the website,
people
and
for
that's
something that I can share and post and everywhere. Yeah.
That's the thing. When you can trust all the users, you can have total integration without worry.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about a situation like here where is it really Russian vids or not? You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
It's like
They say that they sent me a message, but it hasn't come through yet. Oh, hang on, I know why. Damn, my computer's just so slow. It just takes me forever to do this.
is it still
I
running
know
on
that you don't want to
coal?
stay on too much longer. Pardon?
Is it still running on coal?
Oh, something like that. Explorer right now. You know how Internet Explorer used to work, so you can go and get a cup of tea.
In a few years, though, that joke won't be like, funny, because people will be like, coal, what's that?
Now they're revitalizing it here now under Trump.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of people to use it. Actually, the United States is a big exporter to China. They use a lot of coal. Of course, they're making cheap steel and different things like that, so they need coal.
So this whole thing that you've been looking in on, how long do you reckon it's going to be then, Rich, in a way? Or don't you think it's best not to?
If I keep running into bugs like I have been, it'll be about 3 or 4 years it'll be done. But I'm not anticipating that. I'm hoping by the beginning of April, it's open to the public. It won't have all the features that we're eventually going to have, and it won't look as pretty as it's eventually going to look. But it should be at least functional and look fairly decent by then. So another couple weeks. Again, and pray that I get no bugs. I can't even log in right now. I keep checking my email too to see if support sent me something else. And I can get to the site like you all can, but I can't even log in.
That's
okay. When it's sorted out, you can make an announcement about it again, because you're going to have to keep repeating it for a while about Peopleforpeople.life. It's absolutely brand new, isn't it? So
yeah, and what you all, I need to tell you too that if you go to the site and you don't see too much happening, it doesn't mean a lot of stuff isn't happening. WordPress allows you to do stuff without publishing it live. And I'm getting to the point now where I'm probably going to not publish live. I needed to do it first just to see how the look and feel was and how the interaction was. But I may actually even post just a static page while I'm working on the rest of it. I don't know. We'll see. But don't be discouraged if you go there a week from now and it looks exactly the same. It doesn't mean that nothing's being done on it. It doesn't mean that at all.
Yeah, but I suppose as well, because you also do your own little hangouts, don't you? From your house, you'll be able to sort of keep people a bit updated that way.
Yeah. The little live videos, you mean, that I do?
Yeah.
On Charlie Walks.
They have written to me, so I'm going to. Oh, shall I send them the link then?
Okay.
Oh, dearie me.
Well, if it's bad, Karen, just kill it. We'll all understand.
Yeah, but I suppose recorded as well, isn't it? My uncertainty of adding this person. I don't mean that horribly. It'd be great when it is that person.
Well, you've had some things in the past that I know of that would make me leery too.
Oh, it's weird how that's put that on there.
See, that's the problem. Again, that's the problem with using a YouTube. You don't know, because we have no control.
No.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
And someone can say who they are and not be that person, you know.
Like if this let's say you put up a video, hey, here's the hangout, click the link, and it takes them to People for People. They can watch it all they want, but if they're not a registered user and they're not getting in and they can't trash it, and even if they did, there's not going to be any strikes, that we put on ourselves. So we won't have to worry about it. That's where they really have us. That's where they have the hand around the neck. We'll give you a strike. And what is it? Is it the first strike you're not allowed to live stream anymore? Crazy.
No, yeah. I think that if you put a video out and nobody complains about it for 6 months, then they should it, because you had 6 months and nobody did. Yeah.
Yeah, this video,
have them out for ages, and then suddenly find yourself with a strike.
Yep. The video mine that all of a sudden had an issue was 1.5 years old.
That's because they've changed the law on things, isn't it? On YouTube. That's why.
Well, again, what I was just describing there, that's a scam people have. I'm convinced of it, where they go around and just write to YouTube saying, hey, this is my content. Okay, but I'll let them use it, but as long as I get the revenue. And so YouTube agrees and gives all your revenue to them.
Yeah, that's crooked.
Yeah, I know that's what's happening.
I don't think
that's
all
a loophole, isn't it?
Everyone else, is it? Like this is happening around a lot of flat Earth groups, isn't it? It's not happening. You don't hear everybody else talking about this, do you? About people coming in or being porn bombed and stuff like that. That's a flat earth thing, isn't it?
Well, you know, remember the groups I told you that Hotmail that YouTube has been banning. I listened to some of those videos, and they are complaining about the same thing. So whoever's complaining about it, they're the ones they're censoring. So we're right in there too. We're not far behind. The only saving grace with Flat Earth is we're not political as a group. We're anti-government because we know they've been lying to us to a degree. And to the degree, I mean, they've been lying to us thoroughly, but the degree is we're anti-government because we know what they've been doing to us. But we're not directly political, and that's who they're really after right now, and people of faith. If it doesn't agree with the mainstream CIA Mockingbird media, then they want to get rid of you. But I've seen other live streams where they have trolls and things like that on those channels. So you have the corporation itself, Google, coming against us, and then you have the trolls and the bots and whatever, the shills, people that are paid even to do it. So we get like we get attacked from 3 different ways. And then you have idiots who are idiots that you have to worry about, that could come on your channel anytime and spam it up and say there's somebody else. And again, that's because we don't have control. So it's hard to tell who are good people and who aren't on this platform.
Yeah. I hope then, and like you said, on your one, you won't be able to then. You have to be a real person or it's not going to work.
Yes. And some people worry about, well, if I send them to another site, like we're going to go People for People, not a lot of people will go there. It'll be a slower climb, yes, but there's a marketing principle, and I was in marketing quite a bit, and that is the more narrow you are in your focus, the more sticky it is for people to want to come in and get there. The word may be slow, but to get out, but once it gets growing, it'll be like a snowball, and people will be very loyal to the site, and it's just a part of human nature. For example, let's say you were going to do a video about bodybuilding, and you didn't get that many hits, but then you did a video about specifically one body part in bodybuilding, you'll get more people watch that video. Or then you say, okay, let's worry just about this muscle. You'll get actually more on the 3rd video than the other 2. The more specific you make things, the more attention you will grab in the long run. It's just the way it works. So this broad YouTube thing, although because so many different people are out there, yeah, our channels can grow fairly rapidly. But what do we have? People have coming. I mean, I've got 42,000 subscribers. You know, I'm lucky if I get on a normal video 2,000-3,000 views. So you have this ho-hum people is what it is, and you get trolls, and you know, so a certain percentage of those are trolls, and a certain percentage of people that yeah, I sort of want to listen to it every now and then, so I'll subscribe. But if you have people that will join People for People and then they actually get involved with contributing, they'll be there for life themselves. And they'll tell other people about it, and it will snowball. Especially when they find that it's free from any kind of government control and data mining and things like that.
Sounds really good. Sorry, go on, Yudit.
I like to read something else from Dr. Martin Luther King. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Strong.
There's a lot of, yeah. There's a lot of us who have been dying.
Yeah. So all we need is courage.
Are you working on it, Karen?
Yeah, I've sent the link to him, but obviously you don't want to stay on that much longer, do you?
I can probably go another 15 minutes.
Okay. We are waiting. I just don't know what to do. I just hope this person's real.
Do what your gut tells
Anyway,
you, Karen.
Are you really excited though, Rich, about all this?
Yeah, I'll be excited when it's actually functional and people are actually getting on there and helping other people. That's when it'll really be cool.
Yes.
And thank you so much for doing this then, because obviously, you know, people talk, don't they? Talk.
Yeah, and accused too.
Yeah, it's a
You're
bit
all
annoying when you put
you're all words and no action
Yeah.
stuff, you know.
when you put so much effort into something, and then people say all these really weird things to you. Yeah.
Yeah. But you're just doing it for the money, and meanwhile, you're not going to charge anything for it. And it's only money out of your pocket.
Yeah, you're the one that's paying for it. And
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So is it nice and warm with you then, Rich?
Yeah, it's 73 degrees Fahrenheit. What would that be? 21 Celsius, maybe? It's been a while since I did the conversions. What is 73 degrees in Celsius? It didn't actually convert it for me. That's rare. 22.78 degrees Celsius. So I was dead on, actually. 22, 23 degrees Celsius. Very nice. Beautiful. It's been cool in the mornings, but nothing to really complain about. And usually a couple days out of the year, I have to carry an umbrella. And other than that, it's beautiful. But we do pay, while you all enjoy summers, we pay in the summer bad. Just like in Israel. Hot, dry, windy, monsoons. Gets kind of rough here in the summer.
You guys hear me?
Hey.
You guys, I don't blame you for not being trusting. There's a whole lot of trolls lurking on YouTube, so it's very understandable.
Yes, thank you.
Go ahead.
Anyway, welcome to Sun and Moon then. And obviously we have Mr. Thrive and Survive here. Have you spoken to him before?
Actually, I have not, but I've watched his videos, of course. He does good work, so yeah, definitely worth watching. Definitely.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it, but the voice I would have known right away.
Yeah. Well, I've been off for a while besides a few podcasts I've been doing with Call for an Uprising and Patricia Steer. My last video, my last full-length video was on the Las Vegas shooting hoax, and after that I was gone. So that's why. And I try to start up other channels, and anything with me talking goes down. So I put up a few videos on this channel that's within my photo, and there's nothing with me talking. So that's why they haven't brought it down yet. So besides, I made a little clip just a few minutes ago to show you guys, hey, it's really me. I said it like 8 times, but you guys have been so busy talking. I guess you guys didn't see it.
I saw it, and I was trusting, but I mean, yeah, we know it's you now, right? So, but Kratos, nice to have you on here, actually. So,
Yeah,
it's good. Have you got a channel on BitTube by any chance? I'm sure that I've.
No, I don't.
You don't. Any other channels then? Where did I see you? Or someone's uploading there then, I'm sure.
Yeah, a lot of people are uploading my older work. I've been doing this for a very, very long time. I mean, basically from the inception of YouTube, I've been on here in some form or another making videos. I didn't start talking.
When were you on Patricia Steer? Sorry to interrupt.
No worries. I was on Saturday night, and I was also on the same night with Call for an Uprising. So I did back-to-back podcast talking to both of them, and that was like I said, just this past Saturday. And besides that, like I said, I haven't been on. I was with PK. I did a podcast with PK. Maybe it's been about a month now, and like I said before that, my last video was on the Las Vegas shooting hoax, and after that, I had over 100,000 views. I had a crazy amount of views, man. they just cut it off and they cut me off. You know, I had my 2 combined channels. I had over 150,000 subs with 49 million views, and all of it gone. But fortunately, a lot of people have, of course, uploaded my videos and reposted them, but none of them are me. Some people are claiming it's me, asking for donations and all this nonsense, but none of them, of course, were me. You know, I don't mind people re-uploading my videos. Just don't claim it's you doing it. Just say this is a re-upload of Russian vids. But some people are actually posting videos claiming it was me, and it's just, you know how the people are on YouTube. That's why you guys are paranoid. I'm paranoid too, because you don't know who to trust. You know, you don't know who to trust. You know, but what I really want to.
It's kind of live. We were doing it with Mr. Thrive and Survive going, do we, don't we? And it doesn't look very good, but you understand then what's happened. But just to say, have you been listening into what Mr. Thrive and Survive's been talking about? Peopleforpeople.life.
Well, I've been, mainly I really liked what he was saying about, everything's a lie. And that's what I always talk about. Specifically, we talked about how we all been brainwashed that fat makes us fat when actually sugar makes us fat. And I talked about it many times, how if the right one doesn't get you the left one rules, they give us 2 options. They give us regular soda with high fructose, and they give us diet soda with aspartame. They're both going to kill you slowly. So you do is none of the above. Okay, just like all the news stories, like the O.J. Simpson psyop, they want to divide us when it's complete fabrication, and it's to divide the nation, to keep the eyes off those that rule, and to keep us all fighting and divided. By a lot of people are passionate, a lot of people get upset when they see something in the news. They don't think for a second; they just believe it, and that's why. And I said this many times: the reason they must control the news and contrive the news is if they don't, they just put out random news stories. They don't have control. Faking the news, fabricating the news gives them complete control. When they put our news stories out, they know the result of the news story before they even publish it out in the media. So leaving real news out there 24/7, they don't have control. And they can't leave things to chance. That's why people have called me an auto hoaxer. Well, that's exactly what's going on. Where real news stories, they get covered, but they're only covered for a few minutes, 4 or 5 minutes on CNN, then they're gone. The fake news stories are in the media day in and day out, and once they're gone, they're gonna bring it back up with some kind of side story to rekindle that flame with that older news story, like Trayvon Martin with Zimmerman being arrested every other month or every other week. That's keeping the Trayvon Martin story in the minds. Same with OJ, when they supposedly found a knife when they excavated around his property. They said they found a knife just outside the property itself on Rockingham. That's to keep the bogus story alive. So it's not hard to figure out. And of course, the further you go down the path of truth, the crazier you're going to sound to someone that's dead asleep. So you have to wake them up slowly. It's like anything else. It's like becoming a vegetarian. You're not going to have barbecue one night and the next day you decide to be a vegetarian. You got to do a slow cutoff. And that's also when you try to wake people up, you have to do it slowly. Don't throw too much at them at one time. It's got to be a slow breakaway from the mainstream media. You can't have someone that's 40 or 50 years old that depends on, say, CNN or Fox News for their information, for all these years. Then they just shut it off. You got to break them away slowly to alternative things. I'm not talking about Alex Jones, Mark Dice, David Icke, these kinds. I'm talking about, regular people like us that are putting out, real good truth. And no one knows the absolute truth. We're striving for that. No pun on still not playing names there, but definitely, some people are closer to the truth than others. And to know the whole truth is basically near impossible. But being closest to the truth as possible is being passionate for the truth and always researching and knowing the system of like being a detective. If all your federal lies, you're never going to solve the case. That's why all they throw at us is nothing but lies. And I said this about Sandy Hook, where they had Adam Lanza, and they also had the alternative theory of some guy in the woods wearing camouflage. So who was it? Was it Adam Lanza or was it the guy in the woods? When it's neither. Was it O.J. Simpson or was it A.C. Cowlings that supposedly did the murder? When it was neither. Was it the man in the grassy knoll or was it Lee Harvey Oswald? When it was neither. it was a fabricated hoax with JFK, with the splice in the beginning of the footage going down Elm Street. There's a clear splice in that footage. You know, they want to make us believe there's heroes out there. Like Albert Pike stated, whenever they need a hero, we shall supply him with one. So they're always giving us these false heroes like Nelson Mandela, JFK, you know, supposedly Alex Jones, Mark Dice, but they're all just, you know, controlled opposition, of course. If you delve into the truth long enough, you'll know this, you know, that there are no mainstream truth speakers. They're just going to give you partial truth at best. And the problem is this, is they have the nice fancy studios. They have all the, you know, all the media attention on CNN. CNN promotes Alex Jones. Basically, they're not promoting him in a nice way, but they're mentioning him, and that gives him somewhat credibility. So, of course, we're just like, you know, small potatoes. So, you know, it's a controlled system. The alternative media is controlled, the mainstream media, and it's really tough. You know, even the big guys like Bill Cooper, you know, Jordan Maxwell. You know, I have a photo of Jordan Maxwell with Michael Eisner and George Lucas at Disneyland. He's a well-connected Mason. You know, it's no secret for anybody that's really looked deep into this. You know how deep the rig system goes. It's beyond the human mind. You know, this whole system, how they control everything. You know, every aspect. Not only the politicians, not only TV, but Hollywood, the music industry. Everything is controlled. They have a thumb over everything. The whole system's rigged. Police departments, the judges, they're all Masons. I mean, you go to a police department, I'm not saying the lower level cops are Masons, but they're taking orders from a police chief that's a Mason. And they're just taking orders. And they might or might not know. I'm sure there's some police, you know, that are Masons as well. But, you know, behind the scenes, you move up in the ranks. In the public eye, you move up in the scenes as well. But first, you must move up behind the scenes. Then you move up in the public eye, you know, to a higher level. So, again, that's just a rigged system, you know. And I said all the time, truth in movies, lies in the news. There's so many hints in movies. I pointed out with George Lucas. You know, it's funny, the duality. You watch, for example, you watch a movie like Back to the Future, Universal Studios, they'll have a spinning globe presented to you before the movie starts. That subconscious programming. But when you watch Star Wars, before each and every Star Wars movies, what do you have with the Lucasfilm logo? It's the flat earth with a dome, with the sun and the moon within. Okay, if you haven't seen Lucasfilm's, George Lucas's logo, Lucasfilm, just Google it right now. Go to images of Lucasfilm logo. You can see the sun and the moon underneath the dome. Just like the concept of Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. You know, of course, why does thunder echo? There's a dome above us, you know. So, you know, George Lucas has a quote from back in 1997 in a book. Why is the public so stupid? You know, these are the enlightened ones, of course. So, you know, everything's out there. They put it right in front of our face, but they're going to put the truth where people say, oh, it's just a movie. Oh, it's just a song. Like Toto's 21st Century Blues. How can we believe the world is round? I just can't believe it. I just can't conceive it. And people don't understand. These lyrics are given to these so-called artists. Do you think Toto's sitting around their dinner table? Oh, let's sing a song about how can we believe the earth is round? It's completely ridiculous to believe that. It's given to them. You know, they sign contracts just like an actor for a movie, and they're given, just like an actor's given a script to say in a movie, these artists, so-called artists, are giving lyrics to sing for songs. I'm not saying every single song, but a lot of the songs are given to them. Like that one song by Meatloaf, Everything's a Lie and That's a Fact. Life's a Lemon, I Want My Money Back. It says in fine print, not even in fine print, right in the front cover under a Meatloaf, A Bat Out of Hell, it says Jim Steinman, right in front. Songs by Jim Steinman, not even his song. And they put it right there to let you know this song was, you know, given to me. I'm singing someone else's song. So, you know, there's the duality in everything in this world, you know. So, you know, that's what people didn't understand. It's so simple. If they tell us the sun is 93 million miles away and large, you know, it's small and much closer. That's just duality. And the human mind can't go from, you know, one extreme to the other. And they know that. Once you're taught one thing, it's very difficult to go in the exact opposite. You can have an argument, oh, the sun's not 93 million miles away. It's 80 million or it's 75 million, you know. And here's the thing, too. Talking about the ball earth versus flat earth, you know, you ask any anyone that believes in the ball Earth, you ask them, what's the dimensions? What's the radius? What's the diameter? What's the circumference of the world you live in? They won't have a clue. But they're so sure they live in a ball, you know, because they were told that at 5 years old. But they were told that at 5 years old, and at 5 years old, they never go back and question that again. But at 5 years old, they know it's a fact. And again, they never question again the rest of their life because everybody else believes it. So, you know, obviously, if you're a school teacher, you cannot deviate what the textbook said. You got to teach directly out of the textbooks. If you don't, you're out of a job. So it's very simple, you know, and it's not public school system. It's another way. It's basically to cover calling it a government school system. They call it public. It doesn't sound as bad as government because it is government. It is a government school system, you know, so it's all very simple. Everything is common sense, and people try to make this more complicated than it needs to be. But if you stick to the basics, and the basics of, you know, when the foundation's a lie, everything after that lie is a lie as well, because there's no truth in a lie. So we're born in this lie foundation of we came from an explosion that created this spinning ball that's from a rock, and basically we're, you know, our ancestors was a rock that exploded. We came from a rock. So how ridiculous that sound, you know, when it comes down to it. So, but, you know, again, that's why they say get them while they're young. And that's what the government school system's for, to program you to not think, just, you know, just repeat what you've been told, regurgitate. See, regurgitation means you're intelligent in society. Just repeat what you heard in the news. That means you're informed. Yeah, it's not only if life was that simple, you know, only if those in power would, you know, let people have a real say and let them think for themselves. You know, it just, you know, ego and pride is the biggest enemy of truth. And that's the biggest obstacle. And, you know, the bottom line is, you know, people, you know, a lot of people say, oh, we're spinning wheels talking about truth. No, we're not. Because the more people that are awakened, the more people are going to feel comfortable jumping on that truth bandwagon. And the bandwagon's getting larger and larger. So that's what it's about, waking up people. And the more people wake up, you know, people don't like to be left out in the cold. When more people jump on the truth bandwagon, more people are going to follow along. They're going to feel comfortable as a group. You know, it's very hard to stand out there by yourself, talk about flat earth on a corner. But you have a group of about 20 or 30 people, you feel a lot more confident what you're saying. You know, that's the thing is even people that talk about flat earth are a little bit embarrassed because, oh my gosh, we all been told you're a complete idiot if you believe the earth is flat. You know, that's to keep you away from the truth. You know, they make the truth sound ridiculous. You know, it's not, see, that's the thing is, it's ridiculous to believe we're standing straight up at all times, but it's not ridiculous to believe you're standing upside down in Antarctica. You know, and they put the truth out there right in your face. They call it the Antarctic Circle. You know, it's the circle. It's a circle. The circle around the world, you know, and people just, you know, can't read between the lines. You know, the airplane, it's a vehicle flying over a plane through the air. You know, just like a submarine literally means undersea, under ocean. They're telling you the same thing with an airplane, you know, and it's ridiculous to think, you know, they even, you know, according to science, the Earth's radius is only 3,959 miles. That's it. So if you're up in a plane, 35,000 feet up, obviously you should see, you know, the Earth curve. You shouldn't be the horizon shouldn't be eye level. So, you know, it's all very simple. You just one thing that has to be mentioned is these numbers that are given to us by science, they need to be thrown out at these people that deny this. First, ask them if they know the numbers. And obviously, majority are not going to know them. So when you throw them the numbers, right there, you're going to say, I'm more informed than you about the supposed ball earth we live in. I know the supposed circumference, radius, diameter, I know everything, but you don't know, but you're so sure about something you know nothing about. And right there, you put them in a position of, oh my gosh, he's got me. Now they might start listening. Once you show them by the numbers they give us, you know, and then you can go from there. You know, just yelling the earth is flat, that's not enough. You know, you gotta have the supposed numbers they give us and work off that and proceed to basically educate these people that have been completely indoctrinated. And you know, it's funny. I want to point this out, not to go on too long. There's a lot of people here and I'm the only one talking right now, but to point this out, truth in movies, lies in the news. the scene from They Live. You guys all seen They Live, right? With Roddy Piper. That, of course, my icon, my logo. You guys all seen it, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so to make sure, there's the preacher man. He's a black man that's blind. He's a blind man speaking to people that have vision. And this blind black man is talking about how you people have been blinded to the truth. And he can't see. He doesn't have eyesight. He's blind, but he can see the truth. And all these people with eyes, they can't see the truth that he can see. That's duality amongst itself, with John Carpenter being a Mason himself. He wouldn't have a position in Hollywood unless he was a Mason himself. But I find that very interesting how they did that concept of the blind man, a blind man, standing on a pedestal, telling the truth, and he doesn't have vision, but he can see. So that's amazing. That's the whole duality aspect of that is, I find very fascinating, And of course, when they show all the TV screens, they pan over and you see the number 33 on the TV on the price tag. So in reference to the 33rd degree of Freemasonry, of course. So there's Easter eggs all over the place. And, it's just a matter of, like, I hate to quote a Mason, but it's true. It's Manly P. Hall. They say wisdom is not just seeing things, it's seeing through things. And that's
Russianvids.
Yeah.
How long have you been into this then? How long have you been a truth seeker, flat earther?
I know your channel for, I think, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I've been doing it longer than that, actually. But with me speaking, I've been doing it for about 4 or 5 years. Before that, I would produce videos.
I love your channel.
Not talking. Yeah, I wouldn't be talking. I would just make videos with clips and all, and that type of thing. Then I said, you know what? There's a lot of people, that do voices with their doing videos with their voice. And I felt like a lot of people weren't speaking the real truth. And I said, you know what? This is not really my thing, but I'm going to jump on board because I don't feel like the real truth is being told. Half truths, if they're not, I'm not saying people were purposely doing a bad job, but they weren't really, a lot of people weren't hitting the nail on the head and really getting the point. Like I see a lot of so-called truthers pushing Ron Paul. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You're a truther pushing a so-called, a politician. Are you kidding me? Ron Paul revolution. Are you? Oh, but he's been having the same stance for the last 20 years. Yeah, he's been playing the same role for the last 20 years, playing you people for the last 20 years. And it's so
Russianvids, have you been following any of the stuff that Rich has been doing with QAnon?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Since I got booted off, I've been doing a lot of other things around the house, doing some gardening, which I love to do. But I used to watch, Rich's videos more when I was more active, and his demonstrations and his experiments and those type of things. It's been a while, but I remember, I remember all that, and I like a lot of his work, and he's tops, as far as flat Earth to me. So yeah, Rich is good, does good work. Are we going to agree on everything? Absolutely not. No two people are going to agree on everything. That's just being human. That's nothing, no negative. Like, I might say things right now. Rich is like shaking his head. Like, I'm not saying he's shaking his head, but he might think, oh, I don't agree with that. But again, it's okay. As long as we agree on most things, we come to down the line, we all can come to the same conclusion. I've seen so many people fight with me on certain topics. Then later on, begrudgingly, people are saying, you're right about Ron Paul. Like I made a video talking about Ron Paul being, part of the establishment. He's just clever, basically controlled opposition. And I had, like I said before, I had like 400 likes and 2,000 dislikes in the video. This is when Ron Paul was running for president. And I said, I don't care how many dislikes I get. I know what I'm saying is the truth. It doesn't matter how many people agree with me. 1 million people could, disagree. I don't care. That doesn't dictate truth or not. It doesn't matter how many people believe something is true or not. Truth is truth, no matter if someone agrees with it or not. So after the fact, a lot of those people came back to me and said, hey, I was wrong about that. Some people have an ego. They don't want to ever come back to me and say, you know what? You're right about, no, a lot of there's ego with people that believe the mainstream. There's a lot of ego with so-called truthers as well. So, people are people. And the unfortunate thing is, a lot of people that watch our type of videos, they were once watching ABC, CNN, Fox News, and they believed them, and they didn't question anything. Now they jump on the truth, and they realize the mainstream media is nothing but lies. Then they jump on YouTube, and they just believe something outright as well. We should always question everything, and I don't have a problem anybody questioning me, based on solid information coming back to me saying, "Hey, I don't agree with this." That's fine, but I don't like people just blindly that follow anybody. If I say something, I have no problem with anybody questioning it. There's no one's above being corrected, and that's another thing too. A lot of people are like, I know it all. And I always say it all the time. We stop learning.
Well, maybe as Rich is getting Peopleforpeople.life together, maybe you can contribute or help with it as well, because it's for people. Can I just say as well is we haven't mentioned, Rich also did another hangout or another video, didn't you, Rich, about the eclipse?
His mic's off.
Yeah. Yeah, the 70-mile wide. I actually showed the science this time with the shadows.
Yeah, that's good, because they tell us, why do we look at the sun and the moon and in the sky? Why do they look at the approximately the same size? And they say the sun is 400 times larger than the moon, and 400. It's amazing. 400 times larger than the moon and 400 times further away. So you get your 4 and 4. They love their numbers, and and of course when you look at the sun, you look at the sun at noon, 1 or 2, you'll burn your eyes out if you try to do it. But if you look at the sun at sunset, a lot of times you can look right at it. There's a lot of photos and people looking right at the sun at sunset. That tells you right there the sun is moving, and it's not 93 million miles away right there. So there's a lot of things, that people need to really examine. I mentioned this before. I was at a lumber yard a few months back, and it was 2:20, and there was the sun and the moon in the sky at the same time. And I'm talking to one of the employees, and I tell him, I said, "You see that right there?" Because "What's that?" Because "That's the moon." I said, "What's over there in the eastern sky?" He goes, "That's the sun." I said, "You realize the other side of the so-called ballers is not getting a sun or moon right now?" He goes, "You're right." I said, "You realize it's 2:20 and you see both the sun and the moon in the sky at the same time?" He's like, I never thought about that. People don't think. That's what it comes down to. People just like, the foundation is laid for you when you're a child. You go through all these, your grade school, high school, elementary school.
I can't believe that I believed it was 93 million miles away, to be honest. When I thought it was that, it looked like that. But now it's just there. It's just there in the sky.
Well, it's like this. Once you realize the sun is not 93 million miles away, then that changes everything. That means you could look at so-called light years and it's a hoax as well. When you see something like
light years, oh my goodness gracious me.
They say, "Oh, you're looking
at they see the dinosaurs."
Yeah.
If they could look down on Earth now, they'd see dinosaurs.
Well, it's like this. They say, "Oh, when you see that star burn out, that burn out like whatever 10 years ago." Well, it's happening right in front of your face, but why would they lie to us? They told us it burned out a long time ago. When you see it, it's actually burned out long ago. No, it's happening in real time right in front of you. So, it's like I said, again, when you realize the sun's not that, everything else around science crumbles. Everything crumbles. So once you catch that main lie, don't just say, "Oh, I caught this lie," where how can the sun burn 93 million miles away with no oxygen? I'm sorry.
It is frustrating when you know so much stuff, isn't it? And I mean, look at you. You're going to be like a book. You've got so much information about flat Earth in there, as well as the globe to explain the flat Earth.
Yeah, you got to know both sides before you can explain. So if someone comes back, that's the thing is, you gotta know your stuff before you go out there and you talk about it. If you don't, you're gonna be caught. Like, for example, if you confront a police officer, here's an example. This is totally off topic, but I want to put this out there too. This is something important. If you go into a police station lobby with your camera to record, your cell phone, it's a public place. You can record. They might not like it, but they cannot stop you. Your eyes and your camera cannot trespass, even if you're filming beyond what's permissible. Your eyes cannot trespass. So if a cop comes out and says, "Whoa, you can't record here," you need to tell them, "I know my rights. This is a public facility. This area that I'm entering is open to the public, and you have no right to tell me. I'm protected by law, and you should know that as a police officer." They try to intimidate. So not to go too too much, of course, but you can have this debate with the police officer when you know your law, you know the laws, you know how things work. Same thing with flat earth and the ball earth discussion. You got to know your ins and outs, because if you don't, someone can nail you, and then, it's not a good thing. So what I'm getting at is, it's very important to really study, what you're going to cover and what you're going to talk about. And again, I said this before, I'm not saying I know it all. Once we think we know it all, that's when we stop learning. So we always have to keep an open mind to that as well. With new information, it's okay to come to new conclusions. But my conclusion is, I used to be like everybody else. But when I was younger, I said to myself, how the hell does all this water stick to this ball earth? I looked at the flat earth model and said, that doesn't make sense either, because the water fall over the sides. I looked at both as ridiculous, to be honest with you, for all these years. But I said, you know what? It's got to be a ball, because all the water fall over the side. But once you add the ice ring that holds the water in, I'm like, bingo. That's all I need, because I never believed this ball earth, spinning 1,100 miles an hour around the equator and traveling 70,000 miles an hour through space, orbiting around the sun. Like I said a million times, we're not monkeys living on a spinning ball. Okay, it's ridiculous. Can
I just say that obviously it started off as a complete research group, but in that time we've decided that we wanted to be there for the people as well, because we've got to live here.
Yeah.
And hence comes projects like MrThriveAndSurvive's Peopleforpeople.life, where that's something that the people can do, and that's about gaining your power back.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's what we're left with. That's what we're left with doing, is trying to get that power back. Everybody should.
That's the problem. I'm going to interrupt you. That's the problem, is, all these psychological operations with what supposedly went down in Florida, they do these operations because the people run, of course, to the government for help. And it makes them relevant, and it keeps those in power, and people are crawling on their knees, please help us. But these people that, the millions upon millions of people that believe this garbage, they don't know they're being played for fools. And it's very hard, because all you do is, when you tell people the truth, you lose family and friends. But I say truth overall. I'm not going to back down.
Did your family fight you then? The same as with us? Like, all of us have struggled. I don't know about Rich exactly, but a lot of us have struggled with friends and family. They just don't believe us, or they just think we're crazy.
Well, I'll tell you this, and I'm glad you asked that, because the further someone's down the path of so-called education, the indoctrination centers, specifically college, university, they're so far down a path of lies, there's no turning back. They already spent tens of thousands of dollars on their education. It's like, how dare you tell me I'm deceived? It's like this. When a truther speaks with someone that believes the news, the subconscious is going like this. No, you're deceived. No, you're deceived. Between the conversation that's taken place, it's basically a battle of egos of what's really going on in the world. And since the person that believes the media has more people believing what they believe, they feel power. But they can have an argument. Like, for example, someone that knows nothing about a lot of stuff that's happening in the news or flat earth, they won't even have a debate with you. They'll just try to mock and say, oh, you conspiracy theorists. But that makes them feel power, saying the word conspiracy theorist. But they don't know anything about anything. But they just say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. But they won't have a debate with you. You try to engage in a debate about anything. They don't know their butt from a hole in the ground. They don't know anything about anything. But they just throw these slanders, these terms like conspiracy theorists. But again, they know absolutely nothing about anything. But that makes them feel powerful, just saying the word conspiracy theorist, or you're crazy. And that's all. That's the only ammunition they have, because they can't have a reasonable debate, because they know they can't, because they have nothing to work with, because they don't know anything. They just repeat what they heard in the news, and that's all they have. So, more people on their side, so they feel power. Strength in numbers. That's what they're feeling when they say, "Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist." So, the bottom line is, as truthers, we need to be, more uniform. We need to come together. And come to a, stop fighting each other and come to an agreement on certain things, and so we can fight those, not physically fight, but fight those, because if we're all split and they're all together, it's a very tough battle, so we need to come to, a solid conclusion, what's really taking place, and we're getting there through, Rich's experiments, what he's doing, which I've seen, you know, and others like that as well. And you know, it's that's what it's about is really, you know, keeping our minds open to the truth and not just be so stuck on one of these. For example, real quick, when I was younger, I was all big into the UFO thing and aliens back in the 80s. But I said to myself, with all the camcorders and all the video equipment being released on the market, if we don't have some real good footage by say 1991 or 92 or 93 of aliens or UFOs, you can forget it then. I said to myself back then, because I was big into aliens and UFOs and research, but I came to the conclusion it's all a big lie. That's what you got to be with. Again, I would go to, you know, the local library, check out every single book on UFOs and aliens and this. I would watch every episode of Hard Copy when they would show anything about UFOs or aliens. But again, you got to be flexible. And I came to the conclusion that this is nothing but a bunch of rubbish. And it didn't happen overnight, but I came to that conclusion. So that's what I'm saying is a lot of people are too sure about anything about, you know, like I said, I didn't jump on the flat earth right away. I knew, like I said, about the flat earth and the ball earth. I wasn't sure, but after lots and lots of research, I went publicly and made videos on the flat earth, not on a whim, not on a week notice. I had to really study it. And to me, it's completely ridiculous how, you know, anybody buys in the ball earth. Is just absolutely ridiculous. You know, it's
stupid.
Just, it is. When you're awake to the flat earth, it's like how can anybody believe this? It's like I said, and I want to say this too clearly. The truth is not for everybody. It's for those that thirst for it, and those that really research it. It's like this. All the research we have done in truth, and you just walk along and you see somebody, you meet somebody, say it's even a family member or a friend, and you introduce this information to them. All the work and research we've done, do you think it's really fair? They're going to just grasp that truth in say a 10-minute or an hour or 2-hour conversation? No. I think we put so much time and effort into it. The truth shouldn't be handed to someone so easily. It should be something that we've done. And that's countless hours of research.
What they've done to it is disgusting. What they've done is disgusting.
Yeah, and it is. And, you know, it's all about, of course, like it's like a pyramid where the very top are enlightened and everybody is purposely kept dumbed down so they're easy to control and manipulate. You know, it's so easy. I mean, how can people see this? For example, talking about vaccines where you have someone like Dr. Oz who promotes it to hundreds of millions of people in the United States, not only the United States, throughout the world, about getting vaccinated. But then he goes on to CNN, does an interview talking about how he can't convince his own wife in having his kids get vaccinated. He goes, when I come home, I'm no longer Dr. Oz, I'm Mr. Oz. And my wife doesn't get vaccinated, either do my kids. So he's able to convince millions upon millions of mothers and fathers to get vaccinated and their children vaccinated, but he can't convince his own wife and children to get vaccinated. How unbelievable is that? That should speak volumes to people, you know, and people just, you know, they just turn a blind eye to it. You know, apathy is a huge problem. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. They don't understand. Everything that's happening around us affects you directly, you know. And I said this before in podcasts. You know, I'm almost 44 years old. I've never been to the hospital once in my life, not even once. You know, I eat things in the most natural form that God creates. God did not put us on this flat earth and just put us out here to rely on man to create something to fix us. He put everything here. He created everything we need. It's all around us, in plants, in fruits, everything around us. And that's where I really respect the Asians in China, where they do things the natural way, natural remedies. And people scoff at something natural. Here's the thing: is natural remedies.
We love all that.
You got to give it time. It's got to be something consistent. You cannot take, for example, if you've been eating potato chips and Pop-Tarts for 20, 30 years, you can't expect eating natural and healthy in 1 week to cure you. It takes time to change your body. Our body's constantly repairing itself. God made that way, where our skin is always being replenished, our insides are constantly fixing itself. everything is constantly repairing itself, but we must help it with eating things in the most natural form possible. And like I said, fruits and vegetables, and stay away from anything. If man made it, don't eat it. Preservatives, all that garbage. I always say, when you go to a grocery store, you shop around the perimeter. Stay away from the packaged foods. They're full of preservatives. That's killing you slowly. Just like fluoride, just like aspartame, just like all the other garbage they purposely put in our food to slowly kill us, and not only kill us, to dumb us down, like fluoride and everything else. But again, people want to fit, don't want to be outcasts. They don't want to be black sheep. They want to, they just want to fit in. People spent their whole lives just trying to fit in society, and doing what we're doing. They're going to lose friends and family, so they can't go there. So, I don't have a problem with that. If you don't need, I'm sorry to say this, if you don't need friends in your everyday life, you're a strong person. If you could be, I can live this life of truth, and I don't need this friend that believes everything he sees on CNN. You're much stronger for that. Don't be dependent on these people. Don't need their company, because all they're doing is you're staying around with dumbed down people. And how can you have a conversation with these people when they turn on CNN and they believe it instantly? They never question anything they ever seen on TV. Nothing. Whatever.
That's the thing, isn't it? You realise that a lot of people you thought you had things in common with, you don't have anything in common with them once you get into this flat earth thing.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because it's like this. When we're younger, we have our friends and we just go along with the program. As I got older, I reconnected with old friends from, say, school or wherever, and work. And now we do not relate. We can say hi and bye. That's about it, because we are not on the same page. It's just like celebrities. When these people are enlightened, they know the truth. They cannot be friends with normal citizens, because they know the truth of this world. These people in the upper echelons of life, they know the reality. How can they have a conversation about anything that's presented in the media when they know it's a lie? And that's why they stick amongst themselves. They don't want to talk to I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody, but they don't want to talk to a bunch of dumbed down sheep, systematically dumbed down to believe whatever they're told, and they're not there's no conversation to be had. And that's the same thing with us. And I don't mean to say this, but we talk to ordinary people. It's very hard as well. When they talk about, oh my gosh, these poor kids in Florida. Oh, no. And I just look at them right in the face and I say, no, it's not true. They're trying to scare you. And see, the thing is, I'm not looking for approval or support. And when you're like that, you don't care. When you don't care what these people think, because they're deceived and they're wrong, you shouldn't back down. You shouldn't back down and put it out there. And just saying you're being manipulated, you're being lied to. These are psychological operations pulled off by your government. This is how the few control the many, through these operations. It's funny.
Yeah, and it's not just one lie, is it? It's everything.
Well, here's the funny thing is, the Army, the U.S. Army, their field manual on psychological operations, it's the booklet, it's number 33. How does that happen? So it's the people that run this world, and that number 30. It's like this. Like I made a video on this back in 2010 about the 33 Chilean miners supposedly trapped, and they're all rescued, and they had this one pod that was sent down to rescue them. It was called the Phoenix 2, and you spelled the Phoenix 2 Phoenix 2, the number 2, and numerology, that's the number 33. And of course the 33 miners, and they made a movie. Here's the thing is, they love to make movies based off their fabricated news, and they reinforce their lies through these movies, like The Escape from Alcatraz, Bogus, Apollo 13. Just so happens to be here's the funny thing, the only movie on all the so-called moon missions, they picked the one to make a movie on. It was Apollo 13. Apollo 13 is 33 in numerology. Just like Ron Howard was the director or producer, and Howard is a 33 in numerology as well, like Howard the Duck, and all that stuff. So a lot of people are like, they're going to be turned off when I mention the numbers. What these people don't understand, they're turned off by the numbers. They need to understand the foundation of Freemasonry, where it says in the Freemason encyclopedia that they learn how to communicate without speaking. So what does that leave you with? signs, symbols, dates, numbers, and colors. This is their mode of communication. Where internationally, Freemasons throughout the world, they use the number system. So, of course, you go to Japan, you go to Russia, you go to China, you go to Iran, they all use the same number system. That just tells you right there, there's a worldwide conspiracy based on all these countries agreeing. Foe and friend are all using the same number system. Not one country says, you know what, we're not going to use your number system. We're going to create our own digits. Not one. So there's been a new world order, this Freemason world order, from basically the inception of all these countries. So, the foundation of the United States, the 13 colonies, it goes back to the Bible where the number 13 is about rebellion. So that's why they picked the number 13. So, the rebellion, the 13 colonies, they rebelled against England. So it's a story within, a story. They don't just do things pull things out of thin air. All these concepts, they have a backstory. It's like when you name your cat or dog. A lot of times people, they name after, something from their past or a good friend or something. There's a backstory to the name you give the cat, or something like that. So again, it's very important to understand there's a reason for everything. There's absolute reason, and everything's right in plain sight, but you have to understand the exoteric meaning, and there's a difference between the exoteric and the esoteric, for those
Sorry, what is the solution for us? Go to sleep?
The solution. The solution is to wake as many people up as possible.
Yes.
And let them know,
Yes.
basically they're being played and your news is fabricated. And just tell them in these simple terms, the people in power are not going to remain in power by just letting state-run media air a random news story. They're not going to waste precious airtime just airing something they have no control over. This is how the few control the many, by controlling their news. It's like watching divorce court. There's millions of real divorces, but all they show on TV are made-for-TV divorces. You're not going to see a real divorce on TV. It's got to be scripted, and that's how our news is. So, people talk about false flags. No, they don't. There's no one killed in these operations. They have to hoax them. You're not going to get the media. You're not going to get the police involved. You're not going to get all the EMTs involved in real death. They have to hoax them, and they convince these people behind the scenes. Look, we need to do these psychological operations, and if we might be lying to the public, but don't you think if we save a life by removing guns out of the street, it's worth it? It's not right to lie to the public, they'll say, but if it saves a life, don't you think it's worth it? So they're trying to condone their actions behind the scenes of why they're lying to the public. And more people, of course, are going to jump on board and saying, we're going to do the psychological operation and we're going to have to take some people out. And people are like, wait a second, I'm not taking part of this. I'm not going to have blood on my hands. So that's why they hoax it. And also the fact that the lie system of the conspiracy theorists are wrong, where a lot of people say, like, oh, there's a false flag and these people were killed, like Alex Jones and InfoWars, which are both 33. Alex Jones is 33, and so is InfoWars. Just like Mike Adams from Natural News saying there's real deaths taking place. And you see Mike Adams.
I'm sorry to stop you, but we here to create people for people. We should be focused on it to create a new reality for us in 2018 and be together. We should be focused on it. Yeah,
I agree with that. But the first thing to do is, you gotta wake people up to the reality. And there's no uniting people, like the old saying goes, it's from the Bible. The truth will set you free. Literally, when you realize.
Russianvids, can I just say, Rich has got to go shortly, so can we just hear a few minutes of him, and then you can carry on talking to us.
Yes,
for a little bit. We will probably go offline because we've actually been on now for 4 hours. But Rich, we came on to talk about Peopleforpeople.life. So, is there anything you'd like to say? Because obviously you want to go in a minute. You're muted. You're muted, darling.
Thank you. Nothing really to add. I think what he just said is so true. You got to slowly wait. I call it, having one eye come open. You got to get one eye to start now. I'm not meaning that in an Illuminati way, but you
Yeah.
have people that have both eyelids shut, and you have to get one to start peeking open and start seeing the light. And like you said, do it slowly. A lot of us, especially with anything new that you learn, you want to just run out and tell the world, but it just never works right that way. Because if you shine the sun in their eyes, the very moment that they wake up from a sleep, they're gonna feel like they're blinded and recoil from it, and that's what we have to avoid. And a couple of things I think I'm gonna have to go by. I'm so mentally out of it right now from lack of sleep. I think I would have to go back and watch. There was a couple of points I wanted to say or comment on that he was making that I so agree with. But I've lost it now. So I'm sorry about that. But good to finally speak to you or have you speak as I was live with you.
Rich, I wanted to say this real quick. You're down in Phoenix, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I might be. I'm currently in California. I might be moving down to Arizona. So I've been. So maybe we'll meet up one of these days. I might be. I was looking maybe. Glendale, Chandler. Gilbert, somewhere around there.
Okay. So
I'm not quite sure yet, but down the line, that's maybe a future destination for me. So if I end up going there, I'd love to meet up.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let me know. Yeah, I'll show you around and whatever. I used to live on the west side out there. You're talking mostly Central West. I'm now on the east side a little bit, but yeah, I know the area, and yeah, absolutely. Be nice to. I have met nobody here really except for one person that was into the truth, as we know it anyway. But hopefully with this new website, we'll be able to connect with people that are near us.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Networking is important. And the more people you get on board, of course, and I need to say this, and I'm sorry to even say this right now. I know you're about to go, but it's so important. Like when you see the Flat Earth Conference, is people, please make yourself look presentable. Make yourself look credible. I'm not saying you should conform to society, but do not look like you just, we're in the basement for the last 3 months and you just crawled out of under a rock. You gotta look at people's eyes. You gotta be confident. You gotta present yourself in a way because people are gonna see you right away and say, oh no, this person, I'm not gonna even listen to what they say. So you're gonna turn people off. Just present yourself in a very professional manner. For example, you see Rob Skiba at the Flat Earth Conference, well taken care of, well groomed, very, articulate. He speaks credibility. And when you're credible and you present yourself in a credible way, people are going to more likely to
Russianvids. Richard was there. Rich was there.
Okay, I didn't look too. Yeah, that's right. You were there too. But I just saw that Rob Skiba was actually interviewed by the media. Rich, were you actually interviewed by the media as well? I saw you as a speaker, but I'm saying as interviewed on the media where you're actually being, on the mainstream.
Not in the United States. I was interviewed by a German channel actually.
Okay.
And that was the day I spoke. So, and I was pretty well dressed that day. I had a.
That's a good thing.
I was kind of surprised to see people. Yeah, I was surprised to see people in sweatpants and a t-shirt speaking on the stage. I just was.
I'll just say this. I've been saying this as a platform for people moving forward. Not to take too much of your time, Rich. I talk too much. I know that, but I just want to say this while you're still here. It's so important to present yourself because, like real quick, people jump from mainstream medias. They watch Alex Jones because he has a nice studio and he's wearing a suit. You look presentable, and people, it's very important. I just want to point that out. But go ahead, Rich. I didn't mean to cut you off. You're about to leave. I don't want to keep talking, but I just wanted to point that out real quick.
No, I'm pretty much done. This is this has mostly been a sort of a meeting of the minds to make sure we're on the same page with Peopleforpeople.life. And I think we are, and to get some input and things like that. And with the things you've been into, whatever, you're welcome there at the site as well. You want to have a safe haven away from your videos all disappearing or whatever, like we've all had, or whatever strikes and people infringing on your whatever.
Thanks, Rich. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. It's glad to. I'm very happy to finally meet up with you and talk with you live. And absolutely. I'm hard to get a hold of, but there is a there's a link here. Or can you see the group chat on the right?
I sure do. I see the group chat. Yeah, I actually responded to you about you saying you got to run soon. I saw that. I replied to you right away. If you see that.
Oh, okay,
can I
good.
just say that I've been going for like 4 hours now, and we can just say goodbye to Rich offline and talk offline if that's okay, because we've been going for 4 hours now.
Okay. Whatever you guys want to do. I'm just a guest, so
That's okay. So
yeah.
It's amazing you've come on Russian Vids. I'm very sorry that we were a bit harsh on actually, but I just if you knew what happened if you.
No, what drove me crazy was I sent the link about 7-8 times of me. I did a video of me speaking for only 20 seconds, saying, "Hey guys, it's me." I had a screenshot of your podcast, and I sent it 8 times, and nobody saw it. Everybody
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Don't worry.
But my computer's a bit slow, and we're on a live hangout, and
no worries. No worries. Just a few people are like saying, "Oh, it's not him." How do they know it's not me? What makes them so sure? I was like, you guys don't know. I mean, I understand the words, like just say, look, we're not sure if it's Russian Vids or not, but don't say it's not me unless you know for a fact. Please. The people in the
sorry. We know it's you now.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about people in the chat, like some people had the wrenches. They're like giving me a hard time. Like, it's not you. Oh, you're trying to trick us. Like,
there's been a lot of trolls lately. You do know there's been a lot of trolls lately.
No worries on that. Just wanted to.
Anyway.
Yeah, no worries on that. I'm just glad you guys let me on, and I like to reach.
Yeah, well,
go ahead.
If we just finish the podcast live, we can just talk to Rich for.
Yeah, okay.
Go on there.
Yeah, I was going to say real quick. Usually I do podcasts. I talk to the same people. PK. I talk to Patricia Steer. I talk to the same group. I like to outreach. And kind of brainstorm with other truthers as well. And I'm sorry if I just kind of jumped in and kind of like, barged in here, but I just wanted to, if it was okay with you guys, to talk a little bit. And you guys had a really good conversation going on. And I was like, wow, they're talking right up my alley. And I love to talk, as you can see, and everybody knows. And I just wanted to, jump on board and, meet you guys, and just.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for letting me on.
Yeah, same here.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, I've enjoyed listening to you as well because, it's a rarity actually.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Very glad you came on. Write me at that email address, please. We'll definitely meet up when you come here.
Thank you everybody in the chat room for watching. Obviously, Rich will keep us updated on Peopleforpeople.life. Thank you so much. Jay was on for a little bit, and Levkungfu, he's gone. But thank you, Yudit. Thank you, Astral. Thank you, Russian Vids. Thank you, Patricia. And thank you, Rich. And
thank you, Karen Petit. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Yeah,
thank you.
It's all of us together, though, isn't it? It's all of us together. But anyway, we're back on Sunday. Thank you very much again, and we'll see you Sunday. So it's good night from us. Good morning, good afternoon. Bye, everybody.
Take care. Have a good night or good morning, like you said. Where you're at.
Bye then.